Chapter 1334. Sun Heng's words made everyone nod in agreement. After all, these people were not angry because Qin Feng had killed the disciples of the extreme factions. As different factions in the extreme factions, they were constantly fighting against each other. Now that Qin Feng had killed the disciples of other factions, these people were secretly happy. However, Qin Feng was still on the side of the Chinese government. Now that the Chinese government had announced that all the disciples who had come out of seclusion should return to the extreme factions, how could they agree? They had waited for 20 years to come out of seclusion for a month, and no one wanted to leave even a day earlier. What else can we do? We can't fight against Qin Feng and the Chinese government, can we? The beautiful disciples of the Purple Cloud Mountain looked anxious. All of them were beautiful, and many of the male disciples felt strange when they saw them. The eldest brother of the White Song faction, Xie Bing, was also hiding here. When he learned that the disciples of the factions who had offended Hero City had been killed, he was more nervous than anyone else. Seeing that the situation was critical, he suddenly jumped out and said, "Isn't it just Qin Feng? Let's join forces and kill him. I don't believe he can be so powerful alone." Xie Bing's words made everyone think. The elder of Ji Chun said, "Qin Feng is nothing to be afraid of. Even if he is a stage 6 vital energy master, so what? We can easily kill him if we join forces. It's just that the Chinese government has used firearms, and those cannons are too terrifying." The bald monk of the Wuliang Mountain nodded in agreement. The elder of Ji Chun is right. Qin Feng is nothing to us. We are afraid of the Chinese firearms. I haven't come out of seclusion for more than 40 years, and when I came out, I realized that the secular world of China has changed too much. The firearms are too powerful now, and I'm afraid that even a stage 8 vital energy master can't handle them. Unless we ask the old monsters of the half-step fairy realm to come out of seclusion. It's impossible for the seniors who are half a step away from the fairy realm to come out. They are all focused on seeking the Tao, and they don't care about the trifling matters of the mortal world. The Red Sun faction's elder, Sun Heng, continued, "I think that we should all form an alliance and resist. After all, if we don't resist, we can only hide here." Sun Heng's words were reasonable, and many disciples of the factions nodded. Xie Bing was the first to jump out in support. Now that 4 of his sect's disciples had been killed and Xie Fei had been captured by the 12 Upper Peaks, he was isolated and helpless. He could not wait for everyone to form an alliance. "Let's do it this way. I'll join the alliance team," Xie Bing shouted loudly. "In any case, if we don't resist, we'll return. If we resist, we might stay for a few more days." "I'll resist too." Immeasurable Mountain's monk also expressed his stance. Then Count our Zixia Mountain in Jichun has joined as well. More than 100 revered martial artists from dozens of sects in the cave had all joined the alliance. This was a lineup of more than 100 true Qi realm revered martial artists. In the secular world or the pugilistic world, just casually standing there would be enough to scare people to death. Even when Qin Feng had slaughtered his way into the territory of the devil race, the alliance of the devil race sects had not been this strong. The Extinction sect joined forces and charged toward Hero City. Qin Feng had killed the disciples of the sects that had provoked Hero City, and he was celebrating with everyone in Hero City. Everyone drank from afternoon to night. Lu Jie and the others were already drunk and collapsed on the dining table. Qin Feng's alcohol tolerance wasn't too good. He felt like he had drunk plain water for the whole afternoon. The only difference was that his stomach was a little bloated. Quite a few people had already been carried away by the Feng group members to rest. The women sat in a circle, none of them willing to leave. They stared fixedly at Qin Feng, causing Qin Feng to feel afraid. "Big brother Qin Feng, you said you train with me. Let's go." Zhang Kuku sensed that there were more than 10 competitors hiding in the dark. She rolled her eyes and dragged Qin Feng away. This girl's speed was extremely fast. When she and Qin Feng disappeared into the night, Lin Bei Bei and the other girls suddenly woke up. Qin Feng was kidnapped? Lin Bei Bei realized this in hindsight and had a cute look on her face. Rao Sherman stomped her feet in anger. She grumbled inwardly, Why didn't Zhang Kuku bring her along? Zhang Kuku, that bitch. Let's not play with her anymore. Let's ostracize her for a few days to teach her a lesson. Han Ying was so angry that her chest heaved. I'm so bored. I'm going back to sleep. Huayan pouted and left dejectedly. The women left one after another. They had been waiting to sleep with Qin Feng tonight. Now that Zhang Kuku had kidnapped Qin Feng, there was no point for them to stay. Qin Feng was stunned by Zhang Kuku's speed. In the blink of an eye, they had arrived at the beach a few hundred meters away from the villa. Big brother Qin Feng, hurry up. Zhang Kuku stopped abruptly and threw herself into Qin Feng's arms. Qin Feng quickly circulated his true qi and prepared to stop Zhang Kuku. However, he soon realized that Zhang Kuku had taken off all her clothes. Aya, big brother Qin Feng, are you crazy? Do you really want to spar with me? We haven't finished in the morning, so we need to make up for it now. Zhang Kuku pushed Qin Feng down anxiously. Qin Feng was speechless as he enjoyed this precious moment on the beach. Zhang Kuku was indeed ferocious after drinking the ancient gene fluid. Even Qin Feng was afraid of her. After 2 hours, Zhang Kuku still had no intention to stop. Qin Feng quickly carried her away. Kuku, don't you have any self-control? Zhang Kuku blushed, feeling a little shy. She wasn't like this in the past. She only felt restless after drinking the ancient almighty beast gene fluid, but she would never mess around with others. Now that Qin Feng had finally returned, Zhang Kuku wanted to have a good time. Big brother Qin Feng, don't say any more. I missed you so much. Zhang Kuku's voice was as soft as a mosquito. Qin Feng hugged her in his embrace and wiped the sweat off her head. Right now, your strength is comparable to that of a revered martial artist at the 4th level of true qi. However, you still haven't completely controlled this power, so it comes and goes. In the future, don't blindly show off. What if something happens? Qin Feng reminded her of the battle between Zhang Kuku, Yi Beixian, and Elder Xianzhen in the afternoon. Zhang Kuku finally calmed down. She lay in Qin Feng's arms obediently and nodded her head like an obedient kitten. Both of them sat on the beach and enjoyed the view of the sea under the night sky. Suddenly, Zhang Kuku screamed, "Oh no, someone is coming. I need to put on my clothes." Qin Feng saw the approaching people. It was not just one person, but a group of men and women who were dressed strangely. He quickly stood up and shielded Zhang Kuku behind him. Then, he looked at the hundreds of people on the sea. "Who are you? You have stepped into the territory of Hero City. Leave now, and I'll pretend that nothing has happened." Qin Feng's voice exploded on the sea like a muffled thunder. However, the group of people did not seem to have heard him. Instead, they sped up and rushed toward the shore. Swoosh! 5 white silhouettes landed on the beach. Then, an old voice roared, "Are you Qin Feng?" Zhang Kuku's temper flared up again. How dare these people disturb her time with Qin Feng? Just when she was about to throw a punch at them, Qin Feng pulled her into his arms. "I'm Qin Feng. Who are you?" Qin Feng's expression was solemn. The hundreds of people who suddenly appeared in the night were all true energy venerable ones. The old voice spoke again. "I'm Elder Ji Chun, Xiao Yi. After learning that you've massacred the Extinction Sect's disciples today, I've come with the Extinction Sect's disciples to demand an explanation." A row of venerable ones stood on the shore in front of Qin Feng. All of them wore cold expressions, as if Qin Feng owed them millions of dollars. Zhang Kuku was immediately displeased. She complained, "How dare you come and look for trouble with my big brother Qin Feng? It's those Extinction Sect disciples who wanted to take over Hero City. They only have themselves to blame." The Extinction Sect's disciples landed on the shore one after another. At this moment, the hundreds of people had arrived and surrounded the shore. Qin Feng's name was well known, but it was their first time seeing him. They did not expect him to be a young brat. This made the Extinction Sect's disciples extremely depressed. "Little girl, this has nothing to do with you. Get lost." The Red Sun Sect's elder, Sun Heng's expression turned cold. He did not take Zhang Kuku seriously at all. Zhang Kuku was enraged. Even Qin Feng could not stop her sudden burst of power. A black shadow streaked across the shore under the night sky. With a muffled sound, it was as if a tsunami was coming. Bang! With a muffled sound, Sun Hung, who was shouting arrogantly a moment ago, disappeared. Instead, he created a wave on the sea. He, a true energy stage, 5 true energy venerable ones, was sent flying by Zhang Kuku with a single punch. The atmosphere suddenly became strange. Only the sound of the waves echoed in everyone's ears. The Extinction Sect's disciples came with great momentum, but as soon as they arrived at Hero City, they were shaken to the core. Qin Feng was shocked. He couldn't figure out Zhang Kuku's strength at all. It was as if her strength was limitless. He hastily pulled Zhang Kuku back and discovered that she had suddenly stopped talking. Her domineering aura had also disappeared. She stared at him with her big, silly eyes. "Kuku, are you all right?" Qin Feng asked as he touched Zhang Kuku's forehead. Zhang Kuku smiled awkwardly. "I'm fine." "No, but my ability suddenly disappeared. Big brother Qin Feng, I've started this conflict for you. I'll leave the rest of the fight to you." Qin Feng rolled his eyes. He almost threw the girl into the sea. The group of Extinction Sect disciples finally came to their senses, and the arrogance on their bodies dissipated greatly. A random little girl that appeared out of nowhere actually slapped Elder Sun Hung away. Just how many experts were hidden in Hero City? "You, how dare you attack us?" Elder Ji Chun and Xiao Ye's expression was cold. Although Zhang Kuku had lost her strength, her temper did not diminish. "What's wrong with attacking us? If you dare to talk nonsense again, I'll send you flying with a punch too." Chapter 1335. Ji Chen's elder, Xiao Yi, was the most powerful person in the group. He had stepped into stage 6 Qi 5 years ago and was now at the pinnacle of stage 6. He could break through at any time. Everyone had Xiao Yi as their leader and were waiting for his decision. Xiao Yi felt like he was pushed into the teeth of the storm. He was in a dilemma. "Qin Feng, I know you're powerful and have reached stage 5 Qi. However, there are many among us who have reached stage 5 Qi as well. There are even a few who have reached stage 6 Qi. We're not here to fight you to the death. We just want you to listen to our orders and get the Chinese government to stop suppressing us. If you do that, we'll spare your life." Xiao Yi did not dare to fall out with Qin Feng directly. It would be best if he could suppress Qin Feng with the crowd's might. Qin Feng sneered, "Listen to your orders? Don't you think you're someone important? As the pinnacle of martial arts in the Chinese secular world and the outer martial world, how can I allow you to run amok here? I advise you to return to the Extinction Sect, and we'll all live in peace." Xiao Ye's face darkened. He did not know what to do. Suddenly, a shout came from the crowd. "Brat, how can you talk to Elder Xiao Yi like that? You're just an ant at stage 5 Qi. We can kill you in minutes." The crowd looked over. It was Xie Bing from the White Barn sect. He was here to mobilize everyone's strength to kill Qin Feng. Otherwise, he would be the one to die. Zhang Kuku recognized Xie Bing. He was the ringleader who caused havoc in Hero City. Zhang Kuku could not use her ability that day. Otherwise, she would have beaten him up. "How dare you show up, you bastard? Big brother Qin Feng, it's that guy. He brought people to bully us." Zhang Kuku pouted at Qin Feng since she did not have her ability anymore. Xie Bing was not afraid of Qin Feng at all since he had the support of the Extinction Sect's disciples. He shouted in disdain, "Why wouldn't I show up? I'm here to destroy Hero City tonight and show you how powerful the Extinction Sect's people are." Xie Bing was not afraid of blowing things up. He could not wait to make the conflict between Qin Feng and the Extinction Sect's disciples as intense as possible. However, just as he finished speaking, before the light smile on his face had completely disappeared, a golden light descended from the sky, illuminating half of the sea in the vast night sky. A burst of violent aura surged out, and the calm sea was suddenly filled with violent winds and huge waves. Many of the Extinction Sect's disciples' expressions changed drastically, and they hurriedly retreated to the side. Xie Bing's eyes widened, and before he could dodge, he was already split into 2 halves by the Golden Phoenix saber. Rumble! The saber fell completely, but the loud noise on the surface of the sea did not stop at all. The seawater was dyed blood red, but it was quickly blown away by the wind. However, after a dozen seconds, everything returned to normal, as if nothing had happened. However, when everyone looked around, they could no longer see Xie Bing's figure. Everyone cried out in alarm in their hearts. A powerful cultivator at the 5th stage of true qi had fallen just like that. He couldn't withstand the might of Qin Feng's blade. The originally confident crowd started to panic. They were afraid of China's firearms, but they didn't take Qin Feng seriously. Now, they realized that they had underestimated this person's strength. I'll give you one more chance. Return to the Extinction sect tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I'll kill you on sight. Qin Feng's expression was cold, as if a god of death had descended. Even the group of powerful cultivators who came out of the Extinction sect were afraid. Qin Feng's strength was beyond everyone's expectations. Elder Ji Chun and Xiao Ye's old face twisted into a ball. They felt as if an invisible slap was slapping them in the face. The hundreds of powerful cultivators behind him did not speak, and they waited for Xiao Ye's decision. The atmosphere was deadlocked for a moment, and Xiao Yi suddenly said, "We will naturally return in 3 weeks, but not now." Qin Feng's expression turned cold, and he suddenly swung his saber. "Since there's no room for discussion, then let's fight." Rumble. The current Qin Feng seemed to be invincible, and everything depended on his fists. As the saber fell, it brought along a golden saber qi that was hundreds of meters long. The sky instantly lit up, and the seawater surged violently. The surface of the sea was split into 2 by the golden phoenix, forming a spectacular empty space. Xiao Ye's eyes narrowed, and he didn't dare to take Qin Feng's saber head-on. With a few seemingly light leaps, he instantly flew to an empty space hundreds of meters away. Qin Feng's saber completely signaled the start of the battle. The people from Extinction sect were usually high and mighty, so how could they stand being suppressed like this? Moreover, he was just a brat from the secular world. Since you don't know what's good for you, then die. Xiao Yu was also angry. With a loud roar, he slammed his palm down in midair. A huge palm print hovered above Qin Feng's head, as heavy as Buddha's 5 fingers mountain. Qin Feng's expression changed slightly, and he realized that this old man was rather powerful. He hurriedly stabbed his spear into the air. Bang, bang, bang. A hurricane suddenly appeared on the night sea, and thousands of red spear rays shot out like flying arrows. They landed on the palm print, and as light as cutting through tofu, they instantly broke through Xiao Ye's attack. This is bad. Although this brat is at stage 5 true qi realm, he has the Scarlet Demon Red equipment. His strength is comparable to a stage 6 true qi realm cultivator. Everyone, be careful. Xiao Ye's old eyes were filled with shock. He didn't dare to take the sharp spear rays head-on. He sprinted on the sea, and if ordinary people were to see this scene of him treading on the sea, they would definitely be scared half to death. This time, the exchange between the two was over in the blink of an eye. The remaining hundreds of Extinction sect's disciples finally came to their senses, and they all surrounded Qin Feng to attack. It's over, it's over. Big brother Qin Feng, can you defeat so many people? Zhang Kuku finally realized the danger, and she jumped up and down anxiously. Qin Feng's expression was incomparably grave. Although he had broken through to stage 5 true qi realm, he still had no chance of winning against hundreds of true qi realm experts at the same time. Qin Feng didn't have much time to think. With a thought, the flaming golden eagle swooped down and carried Zhang Kuku into the depths of Devil Beast Mountain. You stinky bird, put me down. I don't want to leave big brother Qin Feng. Zhang Kuku anxiously punched the flaming golden eagle's back. Fortunately, this girl's ability had disappeared. Otherwise, the flaming golden eagle would have vomited blood. Qin Feng didn't even have time to bid farewell to Zhang Kuku. He was the one who asked the flaming golden eagle to take this girl away. Boom! Qin Feng leaped into the air and slashed down with his saber. The crowd immediately retreated. 2 balls of flames appeared on the dark sea. Qin Feng stepped on the golden whirlwind wheels and arrived at the center of the sea. Wow, it's a great sage gold grade flying spiritual tool. After I kill this brat, those golden wheels will be mine. Xiaoya's expression suddenly changed. His eyes widened as he chased after Qin Feng on the surface of the sea. The rest of the crowd became excited when they heard that there was a flying spiritual tool. Hundreds of experts stepped on the surface of the sea from all directions, leaving a trail of raging waves behind them. It was as if hundreds of yachts were sailing on the surface of the sea. Qin Feng purposely dragged the battlefield to the center of the sea so that he would have a higher chance of winning. A roar suddenly came from the bottom of the sea. It sounded like the roar of an ancient giant beast. The sea under Qin Feng's feet suddenly surged violently. The water within a radius of 100 meters rose tens of meters high, but the center of the circle was in a vacuum state. The black tortoise's huge body slowly emerged. The disciples of the extinction sect who rushed to the scene were all dumbfounded. They were blocked outside the wall formed by the waves, and they had no idea what was going on. Elder Qiao Yi, what's going on? The beautiful disciples of the purple cloud mountain turned pale with fright. The disciples of the other sects were also on their guard. Qiao Yi tried his best to look into the waves. His expression suddenly changed as he exclaimed, "Not good. This brat actually raised a giant beast in the sea. Judging from its size and aura, it's a third-rank spirit beast." Third-rank spirit beast? Everyone cried out in surprise. Wouldn't that be equivalent to a revered being at the 6th level of true qi? Moreover, they were on the sea. The strength of a water beast could not be ignored. It could even defeat an army on the sea. Rumble. Just as everyone was discussing, the wall of waves suddenly exploded. It was as if a water column had shot out from the ground, and a dozen disciples of the extinction sect were sent flying into the sea. These people were drenched after falling into the water. They stood under the night sky and shivered in the sea breeze. They looked like dogs that had fallen into the water. The rest of the people had already started running on the sea to avoid the impact of the water column. A mere sea monster dares to block my path? Watch my blade. Elder Sun Hung of the Red Sun sect slashed down with his blade. Instantly, a blade ray appeared on the sea. The violent airflow landed on the black tortoise's giant turtle shell, causing the waves to surge even more violently. However, the turtle shell did not crack at all. Instead, a shallow blade mark was left on it. Roar, roar. This blade enraged the black tortoise. The turtle roared at the sky and unleashed the power of tsunami roar. The surrounding disciples of the extinction sect felt dizzy. Those with lower cultivation levels had no choice but to cover their ears and slow down their movements. A black shadow suddenly shot out from the bottom of the sea. It was as powerful as a dragon emerging from the sea. The many-banded kite aimed at Sun Hung and sent him flying 1/2 meter into the air. Then, it opened its mouth and a poisonous bubble enveloped Sun Hung. He instantly melted into a bloody mist and dissipated hiss. The disciples of the extinction sect sucked in a breath of cold air when they saw this scene. This giant turtle was too ferocious. It scared them so much that they retreated dozens of meters away and stared at Qin Feng and the black tortoise cautiously. Xiao Yi didn't dare to act rashly. His brows were tightly knitted, and he even regretted coming to suppress Qin Feng. But now that things had come to this, there was no time for regret. Everyone, don't panic. Although this sea monster is powerful, it has a weakness. The turtle's defense is amazing, but its attack power is slightly weaker. The giant anaconda's attack is ferocious, but its defense is lacking. Let's split into 2 teams. One team will attack Qin Feng, and the other team will trap the sea monster. Qiao Yu is indeed an elder of sect. Under such a dangerous situation, he quickly calmed down and found a way out of the situation. Everyone regained their composure. Seeing so many martial venerables gathered around them, they regained their confidence. In a short while, they had already split into 2 teams. For the fastest and error-free reading, please bookmark this site for the latest reading. Chapter 1336. Just as the teams were divided, Qiao Yi had already rushed over. He led the team to attack Qin Feng and struck out with his palm. palm prints appeared from all directions and trapped Qin Feng in midair. Qin Feng hurriedly swept his saber horizontally. The golden saber energy circled around his body and barely broke the surging palm wind. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. As soon as the blade landed, there were suddenly dozens of attacks. The 50 or so disciples behind Xiao Yi attacked one after another. In an instant, blade light and sword shadows filled the sky, illuminating the night sea. The surging true energy overlapped and collided with each other, as if it was about to explode the sky. How could Qin Feng dodge? He hurriedly activated the super-strong defense of the moon god armor and forcefully resisted the wave of fierce attacks. Explosions rang out one after another around him. The hidden power of the moon god propped up a thick layer of air barrier around him. In just a few breaths, the barrier exploded. Under the joint attack of so many experts, even the moon god armor could not withstand it. Qin Feng flew over 100 meters away and fell into the vast sea. Trying to find someone in the sea at night was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Xiao Yi immediately turned around and ran towards the black tortoise, shouting, "Kill this sea monster first. Then Qin Feng will not be a threat anymore." The group of disciples followed on the sea and surrounded the black tortoise in a breath's time. Seeing Qin Feng fall into the sea, the black tortoise was completely enraged. The sea turtle's roar seemed to shake the heavens and split the earth. Strong winds rose from the surface of the sea. It was as if there were countless bombs hidden at the bottom of the sea, causing the seawater to explode into the sky. The impact was like a speeding train. If an ordinary person were to be brushed by it, they would instantly turn into meat paste. Rumble. Many of the experts who rushed over were hit by the sudden waves under their feet and were instantly sent flying over 100 meters into the air. Fortunately, these people were martial arts experts, and their bodies were 100 times stronger than ordinary people. They actually survived the impact of the waves. Xiao Yi, on the other hand, was like a fish swimming in the sea, dodging the attacks of the waves. At this moment, he had already arrived in front of the black tortoise. He leaped up and quickly slapped down with his palms. The surface of the sea instantly exploded. The attack of a revered martial artist at the 6th level of true Qi was extremely powerful. The kite of many-banded kite was struck by several palms, and its huge body was sent flying uncontrollably on the surface of the sea. It opened its mouth and spat out several clouds of blood mist. The turtle roared as it swam deeper into the sea. When the group of Extinction Sect disciples saw that the kite was injured, there was no way they would let the black tortoise go. They chased after it while waving the swords and sabers in their hands. Bang, bang, bang. On the black tortoise's body, loud explosions continuously rang out. The kite serpent had already dived into the water, not daring to poke its head out. Fortunately, the sea turtle had its turtle shell for defense, but with the ferocity of the attacks of these 100 or so true Qi realm experts, the turtle shell was covered with blade marks and sword shadows, looking as though it was about to split apart. Roar. Seeing that it couldn't escape, the sea turtle stopped in the sea and roared at the people chasing after it. The tsunami roar immediately set off a huge wave on the sea, forcing many disciples to retreat. The many-banded kite also threw caution to the wind. It soared into the sky once again, its bloody mouth continuously spitting out poisonous bubbles. It was as if half the sky was shrouded in black fog. Any disciple who spat out poisonous bubbles was instantly melted into a bloody mist and dissipated. Everyone dive into the sea and attack from the bottom of the sea. Xiao Yi didn't dare to take the venom head-on and was the first to fall into the sea. The group of Extinction Sect disciples descended one after another. These people moved freely under the sea and swam very quickly. Soon, they arrived at the bottom of the sea turtle. Stab! The long saber slashed across, leaving dozens of bloody wounds on the black tortoise's body. Although the black tortoise had the turtle shell to protect its body, the defense of its limbs and abdomen under the sea was very weak. It was in so much pain that it kept roaring furiously. It dashed crazily in the sea, dyeing the sea red wherever it went. How could Xiao Yi and the others give up just like that? Seeing that this move was effective, they hurriedly gave chase under the sea. The Krite serpent had already dived into the sea and was madly biting those disciples who were attacking the sea turtle. A huge battle was dragged from the sea to the sea, and it was extremely intense. No matter how strong the black tortoise was, it was no match for the combined attack of 100 martial venerables. The sea turtle's speed was getting slower and slower. Due to the excessive blood loss, even its roars seemed weaker. The Krite serpent's body was also covered in wounds, and the poisonous bubbles in its body had all been spat out. Now, it could only use its big mouth to bite people, but the effect was too weak. This sea beast can't hold on much longer. Everyone, increase your attacks and eliminate it. The bald monk from Wuliang Mountain laughed loudly. He didn't open his mouth to speak, but an aura was vibrating at the bottom of the sea, and the other disciples could hear it. Everyone surrounded the black tortoise, and the shadows of their sabers and swords flickered in the water. If this wave of fierce attacks were to land, the black tortoise would probably really die at the bottom of the sea. However, a loud sound came from behind the crowd, and the whole sea was shaking violently. Boom! A hurricane swept up under the sea, forming a whirlpool at the bottom of the sea. Everyone stopped and looked over, and their expressions changed drastically. What the hell is that? I can't see clearly, but there seems to be something in the whirlpool. Not good. It's a huge cannonball. Everyone, scatter! Xiao Yi cried out in shock, and had already leaped out of the sea. The other disciples followed, but there were still a few people who were dumbfounded at the bottom of the sea, not knowing what was going on. That hurricane whirlpool seemed to have reached them in the blink of an eye. It was really a huge cannonball, and it immediately exploded, sending a large amount of seawater into the sky. Those few true Qi realm experts didn't even have the chance to react, and were blown into pieces of flesh and blood. The disciples on the surface of the sea were dumbfounded. A vacuum appeared at the bottom of the sea where they were hiding. The seawater fell from the sky, and a dazzling black tank appeared at the bottom of the vacuum. What the hell is this? China's firearms? It looks like a tank, but since when did China's tanks have such great power? They can even fire cannons at the bottom of the sea? The crowd discussed, and this time, even Xiao Yi didn't understand. He had some understanding of China's firearms, and this huge black tank that appeared at the bottom of the sea clearly didn't seem to be a weapon of the Chinese government. Roar, roar. The sea turtle's roar sounded again, and there was a hint of excitement in it. The vacuum had already been filled with seawater, and the black tortoise floated to the surface. On his turtle shell was a black tank, and Qin Feng was sitting inside. In front of him, there were various operating buttons. Xiao Yi and the others turned into green dots and became the targets of this black dragon tank from Star Technology. At this moment, Qin Feng's heart was filled with shock. In a moment of desperation, he took out the black dragon tank from Star Technology that he had been rewarded not long ago. This tank could fire cannons even at the bottom of the sea, and the cannons were extremely ferocious, instantly killing 5 true Qi realm experts. The muzzle of the black dragon tank moved rapidly under the control of Qin Feng's will. Suddenly, there was a muffled sound, and a huge cannonball pierced through the sky. The crowd that was discussing was so frightened that they leaped away, not daring to come into contact with the power of this cannonball. Rumble. The sound was earth-shattering. This black dragon cannonball didn't hit its target, but the aftermath of the explosion blew 3 true Qi realm experts into pieces. Such a powerful force made Qin Feng feel a chill in his heart. Once the black dragon tank appeared, the situation instantly changed. 8 experts had already died tragically under the fierce attack of the cannonball. How could the remaining people still have the mood to fight? They quickly ran on the surface of the sea, constantly changing their positions, deeply afraid that they would be killed by the explosion. Stinking brat, as a martial artist, you actually used firearms to fight us? Are you still a man? Even Xiao Yi was frightened by the power of the black dragon tank. Qin Feng sneered. His voice was amplified by the black dragon tank, and it exploded on the surface of the sea like a muffled thunder. You bunch of lowly people are men? If a man has the guts to fight me one-on-one, more than 100 martial artists came to fight me alone. Is this what you call a man? Qin Feng's words made Xiao Yi speechless. Suddenly, a series of angry roars came from Devil Beast Mountain. It was as if hundreds of ferocious beasts were rushing over, giving everyone a fright. Roar! More than a dozen giant birds flew over the night sky. Their feathers were bright, and their eyes shone with intelligence. As soon as they arrived above the crowd, they spat out several fireballs, as if it was raining fire. Another 100 giant beasts rushed to the other side of the sea, surrounding the shore and roaring at the crowd. Fenger, are you all right? A huge shadow streaked across the night sky. The golden rock folded its wings and landed on the back of the black tortoise. The flaming golden eagle landed behind it, and Gu Chun and Zhang Kuku ran to Qin Feng's side. Dad, you're here too. Seeing Gu Chen smile, Zhang Kuku was so shocked that she almost fell to the ground. Are you kidding me? Is he really your dad? That's not right. Uncle Qin Huang is my father-in-law. How did he become my father-in-law? Zhang Kuku's silly mumbling amused Qin Feng and Gu Chun. Gu Chen looked at the adorable Zhang Kuku and felt a little depressed. Fenger, who is this? Qin Feng was a little embarrassed. He scratched his head and said, This is Kuku, my little girlfriend. Gu Chen was shocked and said, Huh? This is your little girlfriend? Where's Sure? Without waiting for Qin Feng to explain, Zhang Kuku giggled and said, Uncle, Sure and I are Big Brother Qin Feng's girlfriends. Big Brother Qin Feng has more than a dozen women in Hero City. Do you want to go and have a chat with them? Gu Chun almost fell into the sea. He had been guarding Devil Beast Mountain for more than 20 years, but he couldn't understand the thoughts of young people nowadays. There were more than 80 true energy realm martial artists on the other side of the sea, but Qin Feng and the other two were chatting as if nothing had happened. Xiao Yi and the others were furious. Damn it, why are there so many martial artists here? Are they the disciples of the Extinction Sect? Gu Chun snapped out of his daze and looked at the people on the sea in the middle of the night. His eyes were filled with solemnity. Zhang Kuku was also nervous. When she saw the black dragon tank behind Qin Feng, she ran toward excitedly and said, Wow, Big Brother Qin Feng, what kind of tank is that? Where did you get it? Quick, bring me in. I've never driven a tank before. Qin Feng and Gu Chen's mouths twitched. How could Zhang Kuku still have the mood to play at a time like this? Chapter 1337. The interior of the Black Dragon tank was as spacious as a caravan. Zhang Kuku was excited as soon as she climbed into the tank. She sat in the driver's seat and stared at the row of high-tech screens and buttons. Gu Chen was shocked. He had been guarding Devil Beast Mountain for 20 years and had long forgotten about these high-tech gadgets. Fenger, this tank looks so powerful. Is it made in China? Gu Chen asked. Dad, it's not made in China. I made it myself. Qin Feng found it difficult to explain the hedonist sovereign system, so he made up an excuse. Zhang Kuku was already dancing and tapping on the buttons. She had no idea what the buttons were for. She just pressed whichever one looked good. Rumble. Suddenly, the Black Dragon tank shook violently. 3 more turrets emerged from the back, left and right sides of the tank. More than a dozen cannons opened up around the tank, and all of them were firing cannonballs. The black tortoise screamed in fear. Fenger, what's going on? The commotion was incomparably violent. The sound of cannons came from all directions, illuminating the dark sea. It was as if the world was going to end. Gu Chun couldn't help but exclaim. Qin Feng was so shocked that he jumped up. It was his first time using the Black Dragon tank, so there were many things he didn't understand. When he saw Zhang Kuku tapping on the buttons as if she was playing a piano, he wanted to kick her into the sea. Oh no, Qin Feng is attacking again. Holy shit, what kind of high-tech technology is this? The cannons are too fierce. If China's firearms are this powerful, we'll be the ones getting beaten up. Do you want to die? Hide! Huge waves rose up on the sea, and the disciples of the peerless sect fled in panic. The power of 4 turrets and 12 cannons was unimaginable. The sky was filled with cannonballs that exploded like rain. Everywhere they went, blood mist and screams of pain followed. The group of true energy realm experts were so weak that they couldn't even get close to the Black Dragon tank. Ding! System notification. Host has spent 50,000 Hedonist points to replenish the Black Dragon tank's medicinal pills. Ding! System notification. Host has spent 100,000 Hedonist points to replenish the Black Dragon tank's medicinal pills. In the time it took for Qin Feng to recover from his daze, the sound of the system's notifications rang out incessantly in his head. He hurriedly looked at his Hedonist points and saw that the 949 million Hedonist points were rapidly decreasing. In just a few seconds, he had lost between 500,000 and 100,000 Hedonist points. Qin Feng was dumbfounded. He was a super prodigal when he was a hedonistic young master, but he was nothing in front of Zhang Kuku. "Kuku, you bastard! Stop now!" Qin Feng yelled. Zhang Kuku jumped up from the driver's seat in fright. She coquettishly looked at Qin Feng and said, "Big brother Qin Feng, what's wrong? Are you jealous that I could drive a tank better than you?" Qin Feng rolled his eyes. He was almost angered to death by Zhang Kuku. If it weren't for Gu Qin's presence, he would have stripped Zhang Kuku naked and taught her a lesson. "Don't press those buttons. If I let you continue, I'll have to sell my blood or my kidney." A bitter expression appeared on Qin Feng's face. Zhang Kuku and Gu Qin didn't know about the system, and they didn't know that the Black Dragon tank's medicinal pills were purchased with Hedonist points. Zhang Kuku was a little unhappy, so she became excited. She glared at Qin Feng and complained, "Boo-hoo! Why can't I press it? You cheapskate. It's not like you'll die if you press it a few times." Qin Feng's mouth twitched. Zhang Kuku had spent 200,000 Hedonist points in that 1 minute, so he only had 749 million Hedonist points left in the system. Qin Feng thought he would be able to open the Immortal Island interface soon, but it seemed like he would have to wait for a while. "You super prodigal girl, you've almost spent all my money, and you're still saying that I'm stingy. Get down here." Qin Feng didn't dare to let Zhang Kuku press down on him. He held her in his arms and restrained her. Zhang Kuku was baffled. She stomped on Qin Feng's foot angrily. "When did I spend your money?" "Sure, man, and I can't even finish spending the money we earned from our concerts." The money Qin Feng was talking about was Hedonist points, but he couldn't explain it to this girl. Gu Qin was completely confused, and he didn't know what to do as he stood in the Black Dragon tank. Under Zhang Kuku's barrage of cannons, the sea surged violently and was dyed blood red. The members of the Extinction sect suffered heavy casualties. Half of them were blasted into smithereens by the cannonballs. Xiao led a group of people and barely managed to hold on, but they were also covered in wounds and looked miserable, afraid that Zhang Kuku would cause more trouble. Qin Feng carried her and jumped out of the Black Dragon tank. Gu Qin followed suit. The three of them stood on the Black Tortoise's back and were stunned by the chaotic scene outside. "Qin Feng, stop hitting him." An old voice came from afar. Suddenly, more than 10 black shadows appeared on the night sea. In just a few breaths, 12 peaks and Divine Dragon treading the sea jumped onto the Black Tortoise's back. "Holy shit, what is this? How did you defeat the Extinction sect's people with this tank?" Even the famous Divine Dragon could not keep his cool. He and 12 Peaks had arrived a long time ago, but they did not dare to get close to the sea because of the bombardment of cannons. It was only when the battle stopped that the 13 of them arrived. 12 Peaks' eyes gleamed when they saw the Black Dragon tank. As the higher-ups of Huaxia, they were very familiar with firearms, but they had never seen such a powerful tank like Qin Feng. "This is a tank that I built myself. Senior Divine Dragon, you know?" Qin Feng gave Divine Dragon a look, and Divine Dragon immediately came to his senses. So it was a product of the system. No wonder it was so powerful. The others did not understand the secret code between the two. 12 Peaks and Gu Qin were confused, and Zhang Kuku was still clamoring to return to the tank. "Are you people sent by the Huaxia government?" Xiao Ye's voice came from afar. Qin Feng and the others became serious. 12 Peaks representative shouted, "As members of the Extinction sect, you have violated the peace treaty. We advise you to return to the Extinction sect immediately, At that moment, there were only about 50 powerhouses from the extinction sect left on the sea. The rest were killed by the Black Tortoise and the Black Dragon tank. As members of the extinction sect, they had never been in such a sorry state before, let alone being beaten up by people from the secular world. Both parties maintained a distance of 100 meters across the sea. Xiao Yi continued, "We, the extinction sect, only come out of seclusion once every 20 years, and every time we come out, it's only for less than a month. How can we leave so easily? Don't think that you can oppress us just because you used Huaxia's firearms." Xiao Yi was fearful after witnessing the power of the Black Dragon tank. However, he pretended to be calm and could not bring himself to admit defeat. Zhang Kuku was displeased. She shouted at the crowd, "Are you guys not going to leave? I'm going to blast you to death with my tank." A wave of exclamations came from the sea. The extinction sect's disciples were terrified. "Elder Xiao, we can't fight anymore. We're severely injured. We'll only die if we continue fighting. Huaxia's firearms are too powerful. We only have a chance of winning if we summon the seniors from the extinction sect. If we don't fight, we have to obey the Huaxia government. Are we really going to return to the extinction sect now?" The crowd discussed among themselves. They did not want to fight, nor did they want to go back. Xiaoya's expression was solemn. It was his first time being forced to this extent. After a moment of silence, he quickly said, "We won't go back. If you guys dare to open fire again, I'll report this to the seniors from the extinction sect immediately. They'll come out and destroy your prestige." Xiao Yi brought up the extinction sect's backer in an attempt to intimidate Qin Fun and the others. The expressions of the 12 upper peaks and the divine dragon changed. They were slightly worried. Most of the people from the extinction sect who came out of seclusion were disciples and junior elders. However, their strength had already reached true Qi level 4. If the old monsters from the extinction sect were to come out, wouldn't the Huaxia secular world be in chaos? I advise you not to act recklessly. Otherwise, it'll be a war to the death. The representatives of the 12 upper peaks immediately advised. They would not allow such a civil war to happen. Xiao Yi thought that Qin Fun and the others had been intimidated by him. He felt a little more confident. "Since you guys are afraid, then retreat immediately. Don't interfere with our extinction sect's people anymore. Otherwise, the extinction sect will not back down from this war." The rest of the extinction sect's disciples could also see the worry of the 12 upper peaks. They immediately echoed Xiao Ye's words and shouted. The sea was instantly filled with shouts. The 12 upper peaks and the divine dragon were anxious. For a moment, they did not know what to do. Boom! However, at this moment, a golden saber chi that was hundreds of meters long exploded on the sea in the middle of the night. It immediately set off a raging wave, causing the crowd to retreat in fear. Qin Fun's saber slashed down. He was already hovering above the crowd on the golden whirlwind wheel. With a cold expression, he said, "Since you guys want to fight, then I, Qin Fun, will accompany you to the end. Cuckoo, get into the Black Dragon tank and continue firing." Qin Fun's angry roar scared the crowd. They saw Zhang Kuku hopping and climbing into the Black Dragon tank. Everyone had seen the power of the Star Technology tank with their own eyes. Experts below stage 5 Qi stage would be blasted into pieces by the shell. Even the extinction sect's disciples did not dare to act recklessly. The 12 upper peaks and the divine dragon broke out in a cold sweat. They wanted to stop Qin Fun, but it was too late. Seeing that a fierce battle was about to begin, they decided to throw caution to the wind. They stepped on the sea and came to Qin Fun's feet, facing the extinction sect's disciples across the sea. Zhang Kuku had already climbed into the Black Dragon tank. She danced with her hands and feet on the buttons. However, she realized that the tank seemed to be broken. There were no shells being fired. How could the Black Dragon tank be broken? Qin Fun had blocked the Hedonist points in the system and did not allow Zhang Kuku to buy any shells. However, only Qin Fun knew this. The extinction sect's disciples thought that the opponent was really going to open fire. Many of them were so scared that they started to run away. How could they still have the mood to fight? Chapter 1338. Don't worry, young hero Qin Feng. We can discuss this further. Qiao Yi had no idea that the Black Dragon tank couldn't fire its cannons, so he changed his attitude out of fear. The 12 upper peaks and the mystical dragons were taken aback, suspecting that there was something wrong with their ears. Qiao Yi had been so arrogant just now, bringing up the name of the extinction sect's old monster and looking like he would not rest until he was dead. Yet, he was already admitting defeat before they even started fighting. No one dared to speak rashly. They had already taken Qin Feng as their master. An undetectable smirk flashed across Qin Feng's face. He appeared in front of Qiao Yi in a flash. "We'll fight just because you say so. Do you think we're that easy to bully? I'll fight with you until the end. Let's see how long you can last." Qiao Yi really didn't dare to fight anymore after seeing Qin Feng's domineering appearance. Wasn't it just returning to the gate of extinction? It was better than dying on this vast ocean without any flesh and blood. "Young hero Qin Feng, please don't be angry. We were too reckless earlier. Please forgive us. After all, we're all Chinese. Why do we have to fight to the death? I'm willing to lead the Extinction Sect's disciples back to the Extinction Sect. Please stop now, young hero Qin Feng." Since he had admitted defeat, Qiao Yi didn't care about his reputation anymore. He seemed to have changed into a different person. The 12 upper peaks and the divine dragons were dumbfounded. The Extinction Sect's disciples were not in the mood to look down on Qiao Yi's weakness. They heaved a long sigh of relief and agreed with Elder Qiao Yi's decision. A few of them rushed over and quickly cupped their fists at Qin Feng. "Young hero Qin Feng, it's our fault. Please let us live." Red Sun Sect disciples apologize to young hero Qin Feng. Even the Red Sun Sect's elder, Sun Heng, was killed by Qin Feng. How would these disciples dare to resist? The ladies of Violet Cloud Mountain also apologized to Qin Feng respectfully. The monks of Wuyang Mountain came, and the elders and disciples of Ethereal Palace came on the sea soon. The remaining 50 or so Extinction Sect's elites lowered their heads to Qin Feng. This scene stunned the Divine Dragon Sect's people again. Qin Feng stood on the golden whirlwind wheel and hovered in the air like an undefeatable god of war. He was still holding the mighty and domineering golden phoenix saber in his hand, and the disciples of the Extinction Sect were terrified. "Qin Feng, since these people are willing to go back, I think we should spare them this time." Seeing that the situation had taken a turn for the better, the Divine Dragon hurriedly came over to persuade Qin Feng. He thought that Qin Feng really wanted to continue fighting, which wouldn't be good for anyone. The 12 peaks were startled and rushed over. Their attitude toward Qin Feng was even more respectful than before. "Qin Feng, the Chinese government also wants to stop here. Why don't you let them go?" Half a year ago, the 12 peaks still ordered Qin Feng to do missions. Now, they had to ask for Qin Feng's opinion before doing anything. This was a society where the strong ruled. With Qin Feng's current realm of true Qi level 5, who in the secular world of Huaxia and the martial world outside of Huaxia dared to disrespect him. "Since you've expressed your stance, I'll still give you face. This matter ends here." Qin Feng continued to put on an act. He felt that his identity as Zheng Shuai was not in vain. Now, acting was really easy. Qiao Yi and the others instantly heaved a sigh of relief. They felt as if they had been reborn after a disaster. Before Qin Feng could speak, Qiao Yi hurriedly said, "Thank you, young hero Qin, for not killing us. I'll immediately lead everyone to retreat and return to the Extinction Sect tonight." Now, even without Qin Feng's urging, these Extinction Sect disciples could not wait to return immediately. At least that way, their lives would not be in danger. A sudden gust of wind blew on the surface of the sea. The 50 or so Extinction Sect venerables stepped on the sea and left. In a short while, the dark sea was a vast expanse, but the Extinction Sect disciples could no longer be seen. Only then did the 12 peaks truly heave a sigh of relief. Following that, they looked at Qin Feng in shock. Even now, they still felt like they were dreaming. "Qin Feng, what realm have you stepped in now?" The 12 peaks could feel that Qin Feng had broken through again. The aura on his body was as deep as the sea, majestic and endless. It gave off an untouchable sense of despair. Without Qin Feng saying anything, the divine dragon laughed bitterly and said, "Sigh. This guy has already stepped into true Qi level 5. He's leaving us further and further behind." The 12 Peaks rolled their eyes and almost fainted from the shock. The 12 Peaks were in their 60s, but they were still at the peak of Stage 9 inner Qi. They had not found the opportunity to step into the true Qi realm. Qin Feng was only in his early 20s, but he was already at Stage 5 vital energy. If they allowed him to continue to develop, wouldn't he step into the realm of Half-Step Fairy? That was a legendary realm. Even the 12 Peaks and the Divine Dragon had never seen such a powerful person with their own eyes. The fact that the Extinction Sect disciples had admitted defeat made everyone happy. The 12 Peaks had already bid farewell to the Huaxia base. They had to pass the good news back to the Huaxia base. After all, because of the disturbance caused by the Extinction Sect disciples in the secular world, the Huaxia government had not slept well for a week. Guchen also brought the beast back to Devil Beast Mountain. Qin Feng and the other two sat on the back of the sea turtle and returned to Hero City. The Black Dragon tank was kept by Qin Feng. The Divine Dragon was not surprised, but Zhang Kuku was confused. Along the way, she kept asking Qin Feng where the tank went. The battle on the sea was so intense that it had attracted the attention of Lu Jie and the women. However, they were stopped by the Divine Dragon and the 12 Peaks at the coast and were not allowed to go to the center of the battle. Now that Qin Feng and the others had returned safely, they could finally relax. "Boss, did the Extinction Sect disciples come to cause trouble again? Do these bastards really think that Hero City is a pushover? Where do they go? I'll fight them to the death." Lu Jie had been sulking for the past few days. He looked like he was going to fight to the death. Qin Wudao, Yun Zhe, and the others were holding their weapons in their hands. They were ready to fight at any time. Even Qin Feng and the women wore cold expressions. If they were not stopped by the elite team of Huaxia stationed in Hero City, they would have gone to the sea to help Qin Feng. "Don't worry, everyone. The Extinction Sect disciples have gone back." Qin Feng hugged Lin Bei Bei and Han Ying Ying in his arms. Then, he looked at the other women with a gentle gaze. Everyone was shocked. They could not believe Qin Feng's words. The Extinction Sect disciples were all true energy realm powerhouses. Judging from the intense battle just now, there were at least 100 of them. Why would so many powerhouses leave after attacking Hero City? "Qin Feng, you're not comforting us, are you? Just tell us the truth. We're already prepared for the worst." Lin Bei Bei raised her head and looked at Qin Feng with determination. Qin Feng touched her little face with heartache and said, "I really beat them away. Don't be afraid of the Extinction Sect disciples coming to harass you in the future." Everyone was shocked and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. Qin Feng did not seem to be lying, but the truth was too exaggerated. It was hard for everyone to accept it. Don't doubt it. The Extinction Sect disciples ran back to the Extinction Sect overnight. The next time they come out will be 20 years later. The Divine Dragon could not help but laugh when he saw everyone's shocked expression. It was so similar to his at that time. This time, everyone really believed him. After a while, the surroundings were filled with cheers. It was the joy of winning a battle. Although it was late at night, everyone was wide awake. They held a celebratory feast for Qin Feng. Everyone in Hero City gathered at the seaside. There were more than 100 round tables, which looked like a long dragon. Qin Feng drank until midnight and returned to the villa. He was not drunk, nor was he sleepy. He had something important to do when he returned to the villa. The Extinction Sect disciples had already returned. Qin Feng had planned to follow them and find the entrance to the Extinction Sect. However, he gave up on the idea. In the Huaxia secular world, Qin Feng could suppress the Extinction Sect disciples who came out of seclusion. However, once they entered the Extinction Sect, the situation would be different. What was it like in the Extinction Sect? How many sects and experts were there? Qin Feng had no idea. He had suppressed most of the sects in the Extinction Sect. If they entered the Extinction Sect rashly, they would be wiped out in minutes. Luckily, Qin Feng left Ling Yun behind. He planned to wait for the Extinction Sect disciples to return first before asking Ling Yun to bring her to the Extinction Sect early in the morning. Young hero Qin, you're back. Ling Yun had been under house arrest in Qin Feng's villa. When she saw Qin Feng, she was so frightened that she immediately became nervous. All the Extinction Sect disciples who came out of seclusion have returned. Qin Feng did not have a good impression of this woman. She was the one who chased after Qin Feng and Xiao Shi with Ling Feng and Ling He. She even wanted to see Ling He rape Xiao Shi. Ling Yun's expression changed dramatically. She was so shocked that her eyeballs almost fell to the ground. What? They all went back? How could this be? Ling Yun could not understand. The Extinction Sect disciples only came out of seclusion once every 20 years. It had only been a week. Why would they return to the sect voluntarily? She quickly thought of Qin Feng. Could it be that Qin Feng had forced those people back? However, Ling Yun rejected the idea as soon as it appeared. She admitted that Qin Feng was strong, but no matter how strong he was, he could not defeat the hundreds of true Qi realm experts who came out of seclusion. Ling Yun had not seen the power of the Black Dragon tank. Otherwise, she would not have found it strange. Qin Feng was too lazy to explain so much to her. He said directly, "We will depart tomorrow morning. Take me to the entrance of the Extinction Sect." Ling Yun's expression suddenly became gloomy. She had only come out of seclusion for a week and did not want to go back. However, when she thought of the 4 disciples who came out with her and senior brother Ling Feng were dead, and Ling He deserved to die, she immediately lost the mood to stay in the secular world. "Okay, I will take you there." Ling Yun could only agree. With her current strength, she could not resist in front of Qin Feng. After confirming that they would depart tomorrow morning, Qin Feng went to find Lin Bei and the other women in the middle of the night. This trip to the Extinction Sect was fraught with grim possibilities. Qin Feng did not plan to take others with him. He did not know how long this trip would take, so he was beginning to miss these women. However, Qin Feng had no choice but to go. There was still no news of Zhao Lingxian. He heard from other Extinction Sect disciples that the Thousand Shadows sect had already returned to the Extinction Sect. Qin Feng also had to take his mother with him. This trip to the Extinction Sect was a must for the fastest and error-free reading. Please bookmark this site and read the latest. Chapter 1339. Early in the morning, when the sky was still a bit dark, Qin Feng set off with Ling Yun. He did not alert anyone and walked out of the gate of Hero City. He stood under the gate and stared at the peaceful and quiet scenery of Hero City, which was shrouded in white fog. With a hint of reluctance in his heart, he stepped on the long-distance path. Along the way, Ling Yun didn't speak and carefully followed behind Qin Feng. Her eyes darted around from time to time, and no one knew what she was thinking. At noon, the two of them arrived at the outer martial world's Ice Lake Mountain. Qin Feng didn't go to Hero City to see Xiao Li, Su Ruo, Qiuya, and the others. He didn't look for Thousand Illusion Child at the Immortal Cloud Sex Gate, mainly because he didn't want them to worry. Ling Yun, who had been silent, suddenly said, "Young hero Qin, the entrance is nearby." Qin Feng saw many footprints on the ground. Xiao Yi and the others must have rushed here last night. Qin Feng looked around. This was the northern mountain of Ice Lake Mountain. After learning that Zhao Lingxian had been taken away, Thousand Illusion Child, and Ice Lake Mountain's female disciple Meng Dai had come here, but they didn't find anything strange. Even when he was standing on the North Mountain, Qin Feng didn't find anything special. This is the entrance to the entrance? Why can't I feel anything? Qin Feng asked doubtfully. Ling Yun hurriedly said, "Young hero Qin, there's a large-scale formation set up at the entrance. Those below Immortal Qi realm can't sense it at all. It's normal that you can't see anything strange." Qin Feng was shocked. If those below Immortal Qi realm couldn't sense the formation, didn't that mean that the person who set up the formation was at least Immortal Qi realm? Was there really an immortal Qi realm powerhouse in the extinction sect? Qin Feng thought that if he met an expert of that level, he probably wouldn't be able to survive even if he used all his trump cards. Qin Feng realized that he was thinking too far ahead. He shook his head and returned to the main topic. Since those below immortal Qi realm can't sense it, how can you find the entrance? Ling Yun'er took out an ancient compass and followed the direction the needle was pointing at. As she walked, she said, "All the disciples who come out of seclusion have this location finding treasure. It's specifically used to find the entrance of the extinction gate." Qin Feng understood and followed Ling Yun'er to the top of the northern mountain. When they reached the top, the needle on the compass suddenly stopped. Ling Yun'er's eyes flickered, and she suddenly exclaimed, "It's right there. That's the entrance to the gate of extinction." Qin Feng looked in front of him. There was a precipitous cliff in front of him. Most people wouldn't believe there was an entrance here, even if they were beaten to death. If they really jumped down, wouldn't they be smashed to pieces? Ling Yun'er continued. This formation was originally extremely powerful, and even revered martial artists at the 7th or 8th layer of true Qi would not dare to forcibly break through it. However, the next month has been the period of relaxation for the formation, and as long as one reaches the 4th layer of true Qi, they would be able to forcefully break through the formation's resistance. Young hero Qin, do you really want to go in? Of course I'm going. Tell me how to get in. Qin Feng said without hesitation. A strange light flashed in the depths of Ling Yun'er's eyes. She said, "I'll help young Master Qin find the exact location of the entrance first, and then you can break through the resistance of the formation to enter. When you enter, I'll follow you in." Qin Feng didn't think too much about it. After all, Ling Yun'er's strength was obvious, and she posed no threat to him at all. He nodded. Ling Yun'er was already walking around with the compass in her hand. After walking for a while, she suddenly pointed to the southeast corner and shouted, "The entrance is over there, and it will last for a few dozen seconds. After that, it will change direction again. Young hero Qin, quickly go in." Ling Yun'er's voice was urgent, and Qin Feng quickly leaped in the direction she pointed. Suddenly, a white light flickered in midair, and in the blink of an eye, it disappeared along with Qin Feng. When Ling Yun'er saw this scene, she suddenly fell on her, but on the mountain top, and laughed wildly at the sky. "Ha! You idiot! Do you really think the formation at the entrance is so easy to break through? Even if the formation is loosened, it's still extremely powerful. Without the help of 5 revered martial artists at the 5th layer of true Qi, how could one enter alive?" Ling Yun'er laughed like a madwoman. In her heart, she was sure that Qin Feng was killed by the formation shockwave, and her heart was filled with the joy of revenge. She blamed Qin Feng and Xiao Shi for her being pushed by the spirit crane. If it weren't for their appearance, she wouldn't have ended up in such a sorry state. After laughing for a while, Ling Yun'er finally calmed down. As a disciple of the Despair sect, she had a special method to break the formation. Even if she was only at the 4th layer of true Qi, she could still successfully return to the Despair sect. As soon as Qin Feng jumped into the formation, he realized that he had fallen into Ling Yun'er's trap. In front of him was a scene of nothingness, and there was only endless dazzling white light shooting at him. Qin Feng couldn't open his eyes, and all around him there was a constant gust of wind. When it hit his body, he felt like he was hit by a speeding train. If Qin Feng hadn't stepped into the 5th layer of true Qi, his body would have been smashed into pieces. "This bitch, if I see you again, I'll make you wish you were dead." Qin Feng roared in his heart. Suddenly, a pink light shone from his body. His body could no longer withstand the impact of the gust of wind. He put on the moon god armor and activated the super defensive ability of the spirit armor. Suddenly, a strong airflow barrier surrounded Qin Feng's body, as if it was drawing on the power of the moon god. However, the turbulent airflow in the formation was so violent that even the moon god armor couldn't withstand it. It was as if the defense was broken in a few breaths. Rumble. A loud sound exploded on Qin Feng's body. He felt like his body was about to explode, and an unprecedented sense of death enveloped his heart. Qin Feng was unwilling to accept this. Could it be that before he could enter the Despair sect, he would be buried in this formation? With a muffled bang, Qin Feng felt as if he had fallen from a high altitude. He fell so hard that his bones were about to fall apart. He hurriedly looked around, and his eyes were filled with confusion. In front of him was a quiet bluestone path. There were few people around, and the few buildings were wooden houses with ancient tiles. It was as if he had transmigrated to the ancient times. Ah, save me. Is there anyone who can save me? Before Qin Feng could understand the situation, a cry for help came from not far away. In the bamboo forest in the depths of the bluestone path, he could faintly see 3 strong men surrounding a weak woman. They were about to do shameless things in broad daylight. Ha! Stop shouting. Who in the depths of this bamboo forest will come to save you? Even if there is, they won't dare to interfere with our horseman gang's business. The 3 strong men were all tall and sturdy. They wore rough clothes from ancient times, and they had large blades on their waists. They also wore cloth shoes on their feet. One of the strong men, whose face was covered in black pockmarks, had an evil smile on his face as he walked towards the woman. Don't come over, or else I'll kill myself. The woman had an unyielding personality. She suddenly took out a pair of scissors from her cloth pocket. The sharp edge of the scissors pressed against her neck, leaving a red mark on her white and tender skin. The 3 strong men stopped. They didn't want this woman to die. Otherwise, how could they continue to play? Bitch, I advise you to be obedient. That way, when we play with you later, we can be gentler. Otherwise, even if you die, the 3 of us will still do it. The burly man with a face full of black pockmarks had a cold expression on his face, and he looked like a fiend. The woman was so scared that she trembled. Her watery eyes were filled with despair. She also realized that there was no one around, and they were in the depths of the bamboo forest. There was no one to save her at all. Qin Feng saw all of this, and he was a little angry. He had more than 10 women now, and he couldn't bear to see this kind of coercion. He was about to go over to help, but he cried out in pain as soon as he stood up. Only then did he realize that his body had been seriously injured by the impact of the formation. He couldn't even circulate his true qi, and he was even weaker than an ordinary person. Who's hiding over there? Hurry up and come out. The strong men in the bamboo forest heard the noise and looked over in fear. The woman seemed to be grasping at straws in the water. While the 3 people were not paying attention, she quickly ran towards Qin Feng. Help! Please save me. As soon as the woman ran to Qin Feng's side, she was suddenly stunned, and her small mouth opened wide in fear. Qin Feng had been hit by the airwaves in the formation. At this time, his clothes were tattered, and he couldn't even cover the main parts of his body. He was covered in blood, as if he had climbed out of a pile of dead people. You, how did you get hurt like this? Ah, you run. There are bandits over there, run. The woman originally wanted to ask Qin Feng for help, but when she saw that Qin Feng was in a worse condition than her, she began to remind Qin Feng to run for his life. However, the 3 strong men had already come to their senses. They were very fast, and in a few steps, they had already reached the 2 of them. Bitch, where can you run now? Where did this wild boy come from? How dare he meddle in our business? Hurry up and get lost. We can't let this boy go. He has already seen our appearance. It will be troublesome if he reports us to the yamen later. The 3 of them discussed for a while, and in the end, their expressions turned cold. They stared at Qin Feng as if they were looking at a dead man. The woman trembled in fear, and her heart was filled with regret. She felt that Qin Feng was in danger now because of her. Seeing that the 3 people were about to draw out the big sabers at their waists to kill Qin Feng, the woman gritted her teeth and stood up. You let him go. I am willing to let you. The woman did not finish her last words. Tears were already welling up in her eyes, and her expression was filled with despair as if she had lost her soul. The strong man with a face full of black pockmarks smiled wickedly and shouted at the woman. Ha ha! It's not up to you whether you're willing or not. Even if you're not willing, so what? I'll still do you. After saying that, he glared at his 2 companions beside him. What are you still waiting for? Kill that boy quickly. The two bandits immediately drew out the long sabers at their waists and walked toward Feng, one on the left and one on the right. A playful smile appeared on their faces. Seeing that Feng was covered in blood and looked weak, they did not take him seriously at all. The woman was anxious and begged the man with the black pockmarks to let Feng go, but the man with the black pockmarks acted as if he did not hear her. Chapter 1340. Feng pretended to be timid. His body was still trembling. He had been in this strange place for a few minutes, but he still didn't know where he was. However, he discovered many problems. The spiritual qi here was extremely rich, comparable to the spiritual qi in the level 1 blessed heavenly cave pavilion. In other words, the spiritual qi here was 30 times more concentrated than in the secular world of China. The scenery around him was very ancient. It was built in the style of ancient China. The three bandits who looked like ordinary servants were all at stage 1 true qi. Feng was depressed to death. He didn't know what kind of perverted place he had transmigrated to. The worst thing was that although he survived after breaking the formation, he was heavily injured. He couldn't even circulate his true qi, so how could he be a match for the 3-stage 1 true qi bandits? Oh, you have treasures on you? What kind of treasures are they? The two bandits who were about to attack suddenly froze and looked at Feng with sparkling eyes. Feng couldn't beat these people, so his mind was racing. He was thinking of a way to escape when the system notification sounded in his mind. Ding! Congratulations, host Feng, for successfully chasing the Despair Sect's disciple back to the Despair Sect. The system rewards host Feng 100,000 Hedonist points and a Star Technology lightning crossbow. Host Feng's total Hedonist points, 1,849,000. The mission to chase away the Despair Sect's disciple was suddenly completed, and he was rewarded with a Star Technology product. Feng's eyes lit up. He couldn't use true qi now, so he could only rely on the Star Technology product to kill these bandits. Two heroes, I have a lot of spiritual weapons on me. As long as you spare my life, I can give all of them to you. Feng pretended to be weak in order to make the three mountain bandits lower their guard. The two bandits were instantly excited. Even their big brother, Black Pockmark, stopped playing with the woman and walked over to look at Feng. What kind of spiritual weapon can you have? Are you kidding us? I'll kill you with one slash. Black Pockmark roared coldly. Feng saw that the three bandits were attracted over, so he secretly gave the woman a look, indicating for her to escape. The woman was stunned, but she stood by the side and refused to leave, as if she was worried about Feng. Feng couldn't care less about her. He waved his hand and took out Moon's Sorrow. As soon as the spiritual sword appeared, a pink light blossomed. The three mountain bandits immediately cried out in alarm, their eyeballs almost popping out of their sockets. Damn, big bro, is this a rare pink weapon? It's really a rare pink equipment. This kid must be lucky to be able to get his hands on a spiritual weapon of this grade. Brat, give me this sword, and I'll let you go. The three bandits had already sensed Feng's aura and knew that he was just a normal person. However, for a normal person to take out a rare, pink-grade spiritual weapon was simply unimaginable. Feng casually tossed Moonmorn to Black Pockmarked. Black Pockmarked grabbed it, his large hands trembling with excitement. It's really a rare equipment. I'm going to be rich this time. The Black Pockmarked man was ecstatic. His two lackeys looked at him with envy and jealousy. It's a rare pink weapon. I'm going to be rich. Black Pockmark was ecstatic, and his two lackeys were envious. They vented their anger on Feng and were about to slash him when Feng shouted again, Big bro, I've given you all my treasures. Why do you still want to kill me? One of them sneered, You idiot, you've given us all your treasures. Of course we have to kill you. Feng continued, Don't kill me. I still have treasures. The two lackeys were so shocked that their blades almost grazed Feng's scalp. They hurriedly retreated. Damn, can't you finish your sentence in one sentence? You almost died. One of the lackeys complained, and the other shouted anxiously, How many treasures do you have? Take them all out now. Black Pockmark looked over as if he had found a treasure in the desert. Qin Feng could take out a rare pink spiritual weapon on his first try. Wouldn't the following treasures be even more incredible? Qin Feng pretended to be nervous and said, "Why you didn't keep your word? If I take out my treasures, you'll kill me again." The two lackeys rolled their eyes and blamed themselves for being too impatient. Black Pockmark said with a smile, "Little bro, what are you talking about? The three of us are men of our word. We won't lie to you. As long as you take out all your treasures, we'll let you go immediately." Qin Feng was amused. Did these people think he was a 3-year-old? But on the surface, he pretended to be in a daze and said, "Really? Really? Are you really going to let me go this time?" Hee. Of course it's true. I can promise you with my moral integrity that if they dare to do anything, I'll cripple them first. Black Pockmark patted his chest and promised. Qin Feng looked like he believed him. The woman who had been standing to the side could tell what Black Pockmark was thinking. She hurriedly reminded Qin Feng, "Sir, don't believe what they say. Hurry up and run." Black Pockmark saw that he was about to succeed, but was interrupted by the woman. His face turned cold, and he glared at the woman. He shouted, "If you dare to talk too much, I'll strip you naked." The woman was so scared that she retreated. Black Pockmark and the other two did not care. They were not worried that the woman could escape. Qin Feng was nervous. He had deliberately taken out his treasures. First, he took out his spiritual weapon to slowly dispel the three's vigilance. Finally, he took out his star technology to destroy them. Qin Feng was seriously injured and couldn't even circulate his true qi. Black Pockmark and the other two were all stage 1 true qi experts. He didn't dare to take out his star tech to fight. It was very likely that he wouldn't even be able to fire the cannonball before being hacked to death by the other party. "You're such a busybody. You almost angered the 3 big brothers. Stop talking." Qin Feng pretended to be angry and glared at the woman. The woman looked wronged, but did not say anything. Black Pockmark and the other two laughed. They began to doubt Qin Feng's intelligence. "Haha, little brother, I like your character. Hurry up and take out your treasures. I promise to spare your life. I won't go back on my word." Black Pockmark promised again. Qin Feng did not hesitate. He waved his hand, and 2 shining spiritual weapons appeared out of thin air. The golden light was so dazzling that Black Pockmark and the woman covered their eyes. "What the hell? Big brother, what kind of spiritual weapon is that? It looks very powerful. Oh no, where did this guy get so many spiritual weapons?" The 2 little brothers were dumbfounded. They did not even dare to determine the quality of the spiritual weapons that Qin Feng took out. Black Pockmark was also stunned for a while. Suddenly, he exclaimed, "Oh my God, this is a great sage gold equipment." The 2 little brothers almost fainted. They also cried out strangely. "Great sage gold equipment? That's a spiritual weapon that only the Holy Gate leader can get his hands on, right? Could it be that this guy's treasures are fake? How could he have a legendary great sage gold equipment?" First, Qin Feng took out a pink Munmorn. Then he took out the golden phoenix and whirlwind golden wheel. The 3 of them were so shocked that they even began to wonder if Qin Feng's spiritual weapons were fake. "You little brat, how dare you fool me with a fake spiritual weapon? I'll hack you to death with my saber." Black Pockmark roared and swung his saber at Qin Feng. Qin Feng's mouth twitched. These people deserved to be bandits. How dare they say something good is fake when they see it? "Big brother, this is not a fake. Just hold in your hand and feel it. Also, that pair of golden wheels is a flying spiritual weapon. You can fly if you step on it." The saber hovered above Qin Feng's head. Black Pockmark's jaw dropped to the ground. A great sage gold equipment flying spiritual weapon? It's rare, even in the Holy Gate. Boom! Without saying a word, Black Pockmark grabbed the golden phoenix and slashed it in the air. Suddenly, a strong wind blew. A golden saber energy that was dozens of meters long fell from the sky and split the bluestone path in half. The 2 lackeys' legs turned to jelly, and the woman screamed in fear. Black Pockmark stared at the golden phoenix in his hand in disbelief. He couldn't believe that he was the one who created the crack on the ground. Holy shit. This is really a great sage gold equipment. Black Pockmark snapped out his daze. He jumped onto the pair of golden wheels impatiently, circulated his true chi under his feet, and soared into the sky with a whoosh. The two lackeys' expressions changed drastically. They could tell that the golden wheels were really a flying spiritual weapon. Looking at their big brother flying freely in the sky, they were filled with indescribable envy and jealousy. When Qin Feng saw that the three of them were mesmerized by the spiritual weapons, he signaled the woman with his eyes to leave. However, the woman looked at him nervously and refused to leave by herself. "Ha, this is awesome. This is so fucking awesome. These two are really great sage gold equipment. Looks like you didn't lie." Black Pockmark flew in the sky for a while and returned to the ground. He held the golden phoenix in one hand and Moonmorn in the other. The two lackeys were so anxious that they were about to cry. The three treasures belonged to their big brother, but they didn't get anything. One of the lackeys plucked up his courage and said, "Big brother, you already have 3 spiritual weapons. If this brat takes out something good, can you share it with us?" Black Pockmark was overjoyed. He didn't care too much. "Okay, I'll share the rest with you. These 2 great sage gold equipment are enough for me." The 2 lackeys ran to Qin Feng excitedly. Suddenly, their faces turned cold and they yelled, "Brat, take out the rest of the treasures, or I'll kill you with one slash." When Qin Feng saw that the 3 of them had completely let down their guard, he prepared to attack. The spiritual weapon he took out this time was a little strange. It was a crossbow that glowed with blue light. The crossbow only had a bow, but no strings. It was similar to the Skyhawk bow. Chapter 1341. The 2 underlings were stunned. Their gazes were fixed on the StarTech lightning crossbow. They couldn't understand it at all. There's a crossbow-type spiritual weapon? That's rare. What grade is this spiritual weapon? It looks like a blue grade. The 2 lackeys suddenly felt a bit disappointed. Blue-grade spiritual equipment was considered above average here, but Qin Feng had taken out pink and gold-grade equipment. How did it suddenly drop to blue-grade? Black Pockmark stole a glance at the lightning crossbow. Seeing that it was a blue grade, he was secretly delighted. He didn't feel bad giving it to his 2 underlings. At this moment, Qin Feng said, "This is not an ordinary spiritual weapon. It's extremely powerful. It's even more powerful than the great sage gold grade battle saber." The 2 underlings were shocked. However, they quickly regained their senses and looked doubtful. "Brat, do you think we're idiots? How can this broken crossbow be more powerful than Big Brother's gold-grade equipment? We're not interested in this broken thing. Quick, take out 2 more gold-grade equipment. Otherwise, we'll kill you." These 2 underlings were treating Qin Feng like Doryman. Did they think he could take out any spiritual equipment he wanted from his pocket? Qin Feng only had 3 great sage gold-grade battle sabers. As for the red-grade Scarlet Demon Storm Spear, he didn't plan to take it out. He was afraid of scaring the 3 underlings to death. "You 2 heroes, you haven't seen the power of this crossbow. Of course, you don't know how powerful it is. Why don't you try it out first?" Qin Feng smiled at the 2 underlings. The 2 underlings still didn't believe him. However, they thought that it wouldn't be a problem to try it out. One of them snatched the lightning crossbow from Qin Feng's hands and casually pulled it towards the sky. However, there was no reaction. "Fuck. What kind of broken crossbow is this? Are you kidding me, brat?" The underling was instantly enraged. He pulled out his saber and looked like he was going to hack Qin Feng. Qin Feng said, "Big brother, don't be anxious. You don't know how to use it. I'll show you." The lackey was dubious, but he still gave the crossbow to Qin Feng. This was a product of Star Planet technology. If he didn't buy ammunition, how would he be able to fire it? After obtaining the Star Technology lightning crossbow, Qin Feng used his mind to purchase 3 lightning bullets. This thing was quite expensive. 1 lightning bullet cost 10,000 Hedonist points. However, Qin Feng wanted to see how powerful the lightning crossbow was, so he didn't pay too much attention to it. The lackey was a bit impatient and yelled at Qin Feng, "Stinking brat, you must be playing with your elder. Watch me chop you to death." Qin Feng had long disliked the 3 of them. Now that everything was ready, he aimed the lightning crossbow at the person who jumped above his head and fired. Rumble! A loud explosion suddenly sounded, as if a muffled thunder had struck down from the sky. Black Pockmark and the other two were startled and instinctively looked towards the sky. A blue bolt of lightning streaked across the sky like a meteor and instantly landed on the body of the lackey who attacked Qin Feng. That person's body leaped into the air, as if he was frozen by the lightning. In the blink of an eye, he suddenly exploded into pieces of flesh and blood. After shooting the arrow, Qin Feng didn't stop at all. He adjusted the direction of the crossbow and shot at another lackey beside him. Rumble! Another muffled explosion sounded in the air and blue lightning surged. The lackey was still on the ground and hadn't come to his senses. In the next moment, he was blasted into pieces and disappeared without a trace. The atmosphere was strange. It was as if the air had frozen. The woman was so frightened that she fell to the ground on her, but she stared at Qin Feng with wide eyes. The black pockmarked man was still soaring through the sky on his golden whirlwind wheel. He was so frightened by this scene that he fell from the sky. Stinking brat, you dare to play tricks. In any case, Black Pockmarked was a revered martial artist of the True Qi realm, so his reaction was very sharp. He raised his golden phoenix saber and slashed down. However, halfway through the slash, he was suddenly startled. He felt that his hand was empty, and that dazzling golden saber had disappeared to who knows where. Not only did the golden phoenix disappear, but also the moon morn in his other hand and the golden whirlwind wheel under his feet. Black Pockmark immediately realized how powerful Qin Feng was. He didn't even have the courage to fight back. He hurriedly ran away on the ground. Ah, Gongzi, he ran away. The woman screamed. Qin Feng looked at the dust in the distance, but he didn't fire the thunder bow in his hand. Black Pockmark was a level 1 true energy realm expert, so he was so fast that Qin Feng couldn't even use his true energy. His reaction speed was also slow, so he couldn't locate Black Pockmark. Qin Feng sighed and put all the spiritual weapons back into the system. He didn't care about Black Pockmark right now. He wanted to know what this place was. Thank you for saving my life, Gongzi. The woman had already walked to Qin Feng's side. When she saw Qin Feng's naked body, she lowered her head shyly. Qin Feng didn't care. He asked, "What's your name?" The woman said, "My name is Hua Xiaojun. You can call me Xiaojun, Gongzi." Qin Feng found that this woman was very obedient. When she spoke, she put her hands by her waist and slightly bent her legs, just like a woman from ancient times. She called him Gongzi again, and Qin Feng felt like he had traveled to ancient times. "Xiaojun, what is this place?" Qin Feng quickly got to the point. Hua Xiaojun was stunned. She said, "Gongzi, are you not from here?" "This is Distant Ice City, a bamboo forest on the outskirts of Heyu village." Hua Xiaojun explained in detail. Qin Feng clearly hadn't heard of these places. He was sure that they weren't from the secular world of Huaxia. "Is this the Death Door?" Qin Feng continued to ask. Hua Xiaojun nodded. "Some people call this place the Death Door. Common people call this place the Divine Land." Qin Feng was shocked. Wasn't the Divine Land the name of ancient Huaxia? He suddenly had a terrifying thought. Could it be that this Death Door was a place developed in ancient times? But because of the concealment spell formation, people from the outside world couldn't enter and discover this place. "Gongzi, I still don't know your name?" Hua Xiaojun suddenly asked while Qin Feng was deep in thought. Qin Feng cast aside the distracting thoughts in his mind. He was now sure that he had entered the Death Door. As for how this place was formed, he didn't have the time to think about it. After all, his goal in coming to the Death Door was to take Zhao Ling Xian and his mother Qinging away. Then, he would destroy Qiao Shi's enemy, the Spirit Beast sect, and bring the Spirit Beast Master Clan out. "My name is Qiao Feng." Qin Feng wasn't using his original appearance. He had changed his appearance the moment he entered the Death Door's spell formation. He had suppressed all the disciples of the major sects in the Death Door. If he used Qin Feng's appearance to enter, he would definitely attract a lot of trouble. "Gongzi Qiao, thank you again for saving my life." I have no way to repay you. If Gongzi Qiao doesn't mind, I can be your servant. Qin Feng had saved Hua Xiaojun with little effort. He didn't want this woman to be his servant out of gratitude. However, Qin Feng really lacked a guide. He had just entered the death door, so he wasn't familiar with it at all. Xiaojun, you don't have to be my servant. Do you know where the Thousand Shadows sect is? Can you take me there? Qin Feng didn't plan to stay in the death door for too long. He wanted to find the Thousand Shadows sect and the Spirit Beast sect as soon as possible. Hua Xiaojun was startled. Just hearing the name of the Thousand Shadows sect scared her. Qi Gongzi Qiao is a martial artist? You want to go to the Thousand Shadows sect to be apprenticed to a master? But that sect only accepts female disciples. Of course, Qin Feng wasn't going there to be apprenticed to a master. He casually made up an excuse. I have an acquaintance there. I want to visit. Hua Xiaojun understood and nodded. The Thousand Shadows sect is in Sky Domain City. However, I'm not sure of its exact location. I heard that non-disciples of the Thousand Shadows sect are not allowed to enter the sect grounds. Gongzi Qiao, I'm afraid you won't be able to see your friend even if you go there. Hua Xiaojun's words made Qin Feng more and more confused. He originally thought that the death door was similar to the martial arts world in the outside world. It was a barren land with few people and many sects spread across the mountains and rivers to cultivate in seclusion. Now that he looked at it, it seemed to be a very large city. The sects that Qin Feng had met in the secular world were only a small portion of the sects here. Sky Domain City? Can you explain the situation here more clearly? Qin Feng frowned. Hua Xiaojun looked at Qin Feng strangely. She felt that this person was somewhat different. It was as if he wasn't from this world. Perhaps it was because Qin Feng had saved Hua Xiaojun's life, but she didn't ask about Qin Feng. She answered seriously like a servant. Gongzi Qiao, this is China. There are a total of 8 major cities, and each city has many small towns and villages. The local citizens are protected by the city lords. The Thousand Shadows sect is in Sky Domain City. It is one of the major sects in Sky Domain City and is the defensive force of Sky Domain City. The River Jade Village we are in now belongs to Distant Eye City. It is guarded by Spirit Beast sect, White Warehouse sect, Red Sun sect, and other martial artist sects. Usually, the 8 major cities live in harmony and prosper. However, there are times when 2 cities go to war. Not long ago, Meteor City and Distant Eye City went to war. These days, the flames of war have been raging everywhere. It is precisely because of this chaos that those 3 bandits dared to come out and cause trouble. Once again, I thank Gongzi Qiao for saving my life. This little girl is willing to be your servant to repay Gongzi Qiao. As Hua Xiaojun spoke, she began to thank Qin Feng again. She was almost raped by those 3 bandits, and now she felt as if she had been reborn after a calamity. Qin Feng had a general understanding of this place. His heart was filled with astonishment. This desolate land had far exceeded his expectations. It was called China, and it had 8 major cities. From the looks of it, this place was extremely vast. Moreover, such a vast land was hidden by a formation. How powerful must the person who set up this formation be? Hua Xiaojun answered whatever Qin Feng asked her. She stood obediently by Qin Feng's side. Chapter 1342. Qin Feng had entered the Divine Continent from the outside, so he couldn't tell Hua Xiaojun. Although he felt that this woman looked pretty good, they had only known each other for a short while. It would be bad if he revealed his true identity and attracted a lot of trouble. My injuries are fine. Let's leave this place first. Qin Feng thought that Ling Yin might also enter through the formation entrance. He didn't know if she would also fall into this area after entering. Now, that Qin Feng was seriously injured, if he really encountered that woman, he would definitely be in danger. However, after taking a few steps, Qin Feng was already sweating from the pain. The airwaves in the formation were extremely violent. It was a miracle that he was still alive. Young Master Qiao, your wound is bleeding. Hua Xiaojun jumped in fright and hurriedly supported Qin Feng. At this moment, Qin Feng's body was covered in wounds. His clothes were in tatters, and the wound on his thigh had split open and was bleeding profusely. Hua Xiaojin's expression was anxious. She wanted to squat down and help Qin Feng bandage his wound, but she could see some embarrassing scenes from the corner of her eyes. However, when she saw that Qin Feng's legs were dyed red with blood, Hua Xiaojin couldn't care less. Young Master Qiao, quickly sit down. Let me help you bandage your wound. Hua Xiaojin had already squatted down. Qin Feng felt a little awkward, but he quickly calmed down. He looked at the small bamboo forest nearby and said, "It's not convenient here. Let's go deeper into the bamboo forest." As Qin Feng spoke, he forced himself to walk into the bamboo forest. He was afraid that Ling Yun would find him. Hiding in the bamboo forest was always safer. Hua Xiaojin stood there in a daze. She looked at Qin Feng's receding figure hesitantly. She had just been forced into the bamboo forest by 3 mountain bandits and was almost raped. Now that she saw the bamboo forest, she was filled with fear. Yet, Qin Feng insisted on recuperating in the bamboo forest. This made Hua Xiaojin somewhat worried. Could it be that young Master Qiao was also a bad person with a human face, but a beast's heart? Qin Feng walked to the entrance of the bamboo forest and realized that Hua Xiaojin didn't follow him. He turned around and saw her panicked expression. He smiled bitterly in his heart. "Xiaojin, go back by yourself." Qin Feng sighed. He didn't want to make things difficult for this woman. After all, after he recovered from his injuries, he could casually ask people on the streets about the Thousand Shadows sect and Spirit Beast sect. Hua Xiaojin was taken aback. A trace of self-blame flashed across her beautiful eyes. She suddenly ran towards Qin Feng and said, "Young Master Qiao, my daughter is overthinking things. Let me help you in. Be careful, young master." Qin Feng didn't think that this girl would come back, so he didn't try to persuade her to leave. The two of them walked to the deepest part of the bamboo forest. There was no one here, only the two of them. "Young Master Qiao, how did you suffer such heavy injuries?" Qin Feng leaned against a piece of bamboo and sat down. Because he had lost too much blood, his face was as pale as paper. Hua Xiaojin furrowed her brows and took out a handkerchief to help him stop the bleeding. "Little Jean, I'm fine. You should go rest." Qin Feng realized that many of the wounds on his body were located in relatively sensitive areas. He didn't want to make things difficult for this girl, so he took out a few bottles of healing pills from the Emerald Spirit Ring and poured all of them into his mouth as if he was eating bubblegum. Hua Xiaojin didn't stop. When she carefully tore off the blood-stained clothes on Qin Feng's upper body, she was so frightened that she immediately covered her mouth. "Young Master Qiao, why, you must be in a lot of pain, right?" Looking at Qin Feng's blood-covered body, Hua Xiaojin's tears almost fell. Qin Feng gritted his teeth and pretended that he was fine. He smiled and said, "It's nothing. I'll be fine in a few days." Qin Feng had spiritual pills to heal his wounds. In a few days, his external injuries would definitely be healed. As for his internal injuries, it was hard to say. However, Hua Xiaojin didn't know that. Her handkerchief had been rubbed until it was the color of blood. She tore off the corner of her patched clothes and continued to bandage Qin Feng's wounds. There were more and more bloody cloths on the ground. Qin Feng didn't stop Hua Xiaojin. Hua Xiaojin's expression became more and more serious. She was really scared to death by Qin Feng's injuries. At first, she was a little shy and nervous when she wiped Qin Feng's body. Now, she was completely focused. All she could see were the terrifying bloody wounds. After bandaging the wounds on his upper body, Hua Xiaojin tore off a piece of cloth from her clothes. Without thinking, she lowered her head and bandaged Qin Feng's thigh. At this moment, Qin Feng was basically naked. Hua Xiaojin suddenly cried out in surprise. She raised her head and looked at Qin Feng. Her little face was so red that it was about to drip water. "Young Master Qiao, why?" Hua Xiaojin didn't have the nerve to finish her sentence. Qin Feng was meditating and circulating his qi. However, after working for a long time, he still couldn't circulate the true qi in his body. Only then did he suddenly wake up. He lowered his head and glanced at himself. He was so embarrassed that his old face turned red. "Ahem, Xiaojin, Why you go sit over there and rest for a while? I'll bandage the rest of the wounds myself. This time, Hua Xiaojun was really embarrassed. She tore off a few pieces of cloth from her clothes and placed them on the ground. Without saying a word, she turned and ran to the side. Qin Feng's body was covered in bloody wounds, but most of them were superficial wounds. He casually bandaged them. The spirit pills he ate earlier had already taken effect. At this moment, his body had recovered to the state of an ordinary person. At least, it wasn't difficult for him to move. Qin Feng went outside the bamboo forest and put on the clothes of the two bandits he killed. These clothes had been blasted to pieces by the lightning crossbow, but at least they were better than Qin Feng's naked body. Young Master Qiao, why are you feeling better? Just as Qin Feng finished putting on his clothes, Hua Xiaojun walked out of the bamboo forest. Much better. Thank you, beautiful Xiaojun, for bandaging me. Hua Xiaojun was stunned for a moment. Her little face blushed again. Here, very few people would directly say the word beautiful to a girl. It felt like a confession. Qin Feng had only known her for less than 2 hours, and he was already saying such frivolous words? Hua Xiaojun became a little nervous. Young Master Qiao, where do you plan to go now? Hua Xiaojun asked with her head lowered. Is Sky Domain City far from here? Previously, Hua Xiaojun said that the Thousand Shadow sect was in Sky Domain City. Qin Feng planned to go there first to find out the situation. Hua Xiaojun's expression changed. She thought that Qin Feng would give up on the idea of going to the Thousand Shadow sect. She didn't expect him to be so determined. Young Master Qiao, it's useless even if you go to Sky Domain City. Normal people don't know where the Sacred Gate is. Only disciples of the Sacred Gate can find it. Qin Feng learned a lot about the situation here from Hua Xiaojun. The Sacred Gate was the general name for the cultivation sects in the Divine Continent. So you're saying that normal people have no way to find the Sacred Gate? Qin Feng was a little worried. If he couldn't find the Thousand Shadow sect, how could he save his mother and Ling Xian? However, he heard Hua Xiaojun say, there is a way, but the most effective way is to participate in the sect selection that happens every 3 years. At that time, the Sacred Gates will come to Fire Beacon City to pick new disciples. If they are chosen, they will be brought into the sect. Qin Feng immediately asked, when will the disciple selection be held this time? It should be soon. I'm just a poor little girl, and usually don't pay attention to these things. If young Master Qiao wants to know the specific time, I can help you ask. Qin Feng asked Hua Xiaojun many more questions and had a general understanding of the situation here. He originally thought that the Absolute Gate was neither big nor small and was made up of many hidden sections. Now, he realized that it was completely different from what he had imagined. This messed up Qin Feng's plan. He had planned to directly kill his way to the Thousand Shadow sect and Spirit Beast sect, then leave after finishing his task. Now, it seemed like he had to slowly plan. Qin Feng tried to circulate the true qi in his body, but there was still no reaction. He decided to find a place to rest and recuperate. Otherwise, with his current strength. So what if he found the Thousand Shadow sect and Spirit Beast sect? He was afraid that they could kill him with a single slap. Young Master Qiao, where are we going now? A trace of disappointment flashed through Hua Xiaojun's eyes. It was unknown what she was thinking. Qin Feng didn't know anything about this place. He asked, is your home far from here? Hua Xiaojun's eyes suddenly welled up with tears. She gritted her teeth and said, young Master Qiao, I can't go home. Qin Feng was stunned. Why? My home is in West Townshua Village. It's over 200 li from here. The 3 bad guys in front are mountain bandits from West Townshua Village. Their big brother took a fancy to my beauty and wanted me to submit. I was forced to escape from West Townshua Village. If I go back now, will? Hua Xiaojun didn't continue, but Qin Feng already understood. He felt some sympathy for this woman and glanced at the holes in her cloth shoes. Qin Feng knew that this woman must have walked all the way from the Hua family village to this River Jade village. It was a full 200 li, and who knew how many days and nights it would take to walk. If that's the case, then all the more reason for you to go home. Qin Feng seemed to have thought of something. and his expression suddenly became cold. Hua Xiaojin didn't understand. Young Master Qiao, why do you say that? If I go back, then the bad guys. Those 2 mountain bandits were killed by me, and the other mountain bandit escaped. The person who escaped will definitely go back and report to their big brother. Those mountain bandits are inhumane. In a moment of anger, they might vent their anger on your family. You still have family in Hua Village, right? Qin Feng's analysis was clear and logical. Hua Xiaojin's expression changed greatly, and she cried out in shock. Ah, it's over, it's over. If young Master Qiao didn't remind this servant wouldn't have thought so much. Hua Xiaojin cried anxiously. Woo-woo, young Master Qiao, thank you for saving my life. I'm afraid this servant won't be able to be your servant in this life. I hope to repay your kindness in my next life. I'm going back to Hua Village. Young Master Qiao, please take care of yourself. Hua Xiaojin wiped her tears as she hurriedly ran forward. Qin Feng pulled her back, and Hua Xiaojin cried out in shock. Young Master Qiao, you want to go back alone? Isn't that courting death? Qin Feng interrupted Hua Xiaojin. Hua Xiaojin sobbed and said, but if I don't go back, my grandmother and relatives at home will suffer. Qin Feng had a good impression of Hua Xiaojin, and this woman was the first person he met after coming to Extinction Sect. He more or less didn't want to see her fall into the wolf's mouth. Let's go. Take me to your village with you. In the end, I killed those 2 mountain bandits. I'm also responsible for this. Qin Feng patted Hua Xiaojin's shoulder and comforted her. Chapter 1343. Qin Feng decided to return to Hua Village with Hua Xiaojin. He could recuperate there for a while. As for the Horsehead Gang, Qin Feng did not care about them at all. Although he could not circulate his true qi, there were many star technology products in the system. If he provoked them, he could use a cannon to flatten the Horsehead Gang's mountain. Top update fastest, however. When Qin Feng expressed this idea, Hua Xiaojin repeatedly shook her head. In her eyes, the Horseshoe Gang was the most powerful faction in the Hua Village of West Town. Even the constables of the Yamen could not eliminate them. Qin Feng was so heavily injured. Wasn't going to his death? Young Master Qiao, Xiaojin appreciates your good intentions, but I can't take you back. That would harm young Master. Hurry and return to your city. Right now, there's a war in Distant City, and it's in chaos. It's not good to stay for long, Hua Xiaojin said as tears fell. When she thought about how she would be violated by the bandits after returning, she wanted to bang her head against a wall and die. However, if she really committed suicide, her grandmother and relatives would suffer. Didn't you want to be my servant? Is there a servant who doesn't listen to her master's orders? Qin Feng said carelessly. Hua Xiaojin suddenly became nervous and hurriedly waved her hands. No, young Master Qiao, Hua Xiaojin was so anxious that she could not speak clearly. She was born in China and had been instilled with the ideology of the 3 obediences and 5 virtues since she was young. She was very clear about the relationship between master and servant. No servant dared to disobey their master, but the situation was different now. Young Master Qiao, don't be angry. It's my fault. I deserve to be hit. The crisp sound of slap rang out. Qin Feng froze abruptly. Hua Xiaojin slapped her own face without hesitation. 5 bright red finger marks instantly appeared on her originally white and tender little face. It could be seen that she used all her strength to slap her own face. Moreover, she had no intention of stopping. What are you doing? Qin Feng hurriedly grabbed her lily-white hand. His emotions were a bit complicated. Hua Xiaojin cried. Young Master Qiao, don't be angry. It's Xiaojin's fault. Xiaojin couldn't do anything. I can only repay young Master for saving my life in my next life. Qin Feng rolled his eyes. He was completely speechless. He realized that the women of the divine Great Land had the same mindset as the conservative women of ancient times. This was the behavior of men being superior to women. I'm not angry at you. Don't talk so much. Take me to Hua Village. I have nowhere to go now. You can't let your master wander the streets, right? Hua Xiaojin's pitiful appearance reminded Qin Feng of Lin Bei Bei. He couldn't help but sigh. He didn't know when he could finish his mission and leave the divine great land. He had just arrived, but he already missed the women in Hero City. In the end, Hua Xiaojin had no choice but to listen to Qin Feng and take him back. According to Hua Xiaojin, this place was still over 200 kilometers away from the Hua family village. At this time, the sky was gradually darkening, and Qin Feng was heavily injured, so he decided to find a restaurant to stay in. In fact, Qin Feng could use the system's space-time gate to travel to the Hua village, or release the flaming golden eagle to fly them over. However, Qin Feng rejected these ideas. He had just arrived at the extinction realm, so it was better to keep a low profile. There were many sects and experts here, and Qin Feng suspected that there was someone with the system. Wasn't Ling Jiutian someone who came out of the extinction realm? If he used the system's function and was discovered by someone with the system, with his current condition, he would definitely die. You two stinking beggars, get lost. The two of them had just arrived at the entrance of the largest restaurant in the Jade River Village, 10,000 Flower Tower, when they were stopped outside by the waiter. Qin Feng specifically came here because he saw that this restaurant's exterior was slightly high class. Hua Xiaojin was already trembling in fear. She secretly pulled Qin Feng to the side. Young Master Qiao, let's hurry and leave. It's very expensive to stay here for a night. Hua Xiaojin was a poor little girl. The copper coins she earned as a maid in a rich family for a year was not enough to stay in 10,000 Flower Tower for a night. Qin Feng was used to staying in the presidential suite in the Huaxia secular world, so the 10,000 Flower Tower in front of him was very low class to him. That's right. How much does it cost to stay in this restaurant for a night? Qin Feng quickly realized a serious problem. The currency of the divine great land was very likely different from the outside world. Young Master Qiao, it costs 1,000 copper coins. It's so expensive, let's not stay here. Hua Xiaojin trembled in fear just by saying the price. She had never seen 1,000 copper coins in her life. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. Sure enough, it was different from the currency of the outside world. Was this the currency of the ancient times? Will gold bars do? Qin Feng suddenly asked. Hua Xiaojin was so shocked that she exclaimed, Young Master Qiao, why you have gold bars? When Qin Feng was collecting the materials for the Starry Sky flying sword, he had collected many gold bars. Now, there was still a lot left in the Emerald Spirit Ring. He asked again and finally understood the currency conversion here. Here, gold coins were the most valuable. 1 gold coin could be exchanged for 1,000 silver coins, and 1 silver coin could be exchanged for 1,000 copper coins. However, the 10,000 Flower Tower only required 1 silver coin to stay in, so Qin Feng didn't mind. Hey, are you deaf? Hurry up and scram. If you want food, go to the opposite street. Don't affect our 10,000 Flower Towers business. When the waiter saw the two of them standing at the entrance and not leaving, his tone became even more tyrannical. However, Hua Xiaojin didn't believe that Qin Feng had gold bars. She saw that Qin Feng didn't seem to be the son of a rich family. Big brother, I'm sorry. I'll leave now. Hua Xiaojin secretly pulled Qin Feng away, but she discovered that Qin Feng had pulled her into the 10,000 Flower Tower. The waiter was stunned for a moment and immediately roared in anger. Stinking brat. I gave you face, but you don't want it? Guys, come out. Someone's causing trouble. Just as the waiter finished speaking, 5 black figures suddenly jumped out of the shop. The 5 of them were all tall and strong men. Since they were 5 experts at the first stage of true qi, Qin Feng felt depressed. Qin Feng felt a wave of depression in his heart. He had only been in the divine great land for less than a day, yet he had already encountered 8 powerful beings of the true qi realm. Experts of this level were not worth mentioning here, and had even been reduced to working as bandits and restaurant thugs. Stinking brat, you dare to cause trouble in the 10,000 Flower Tower? I think you're tired of living. A stinking beggar who can't even afford clothes. Why are you talking nonsense with him? Just cripple him and throw him out. That girl looks pretty. Brother, he sway. Do you want to catch her to accompany the customers in the shop? These brawny men swept a glance at Qin Feng and didn't pay any more attention to him. Their gazes all fell on Hua Xiaojin. This woman had a delicate temperament and a tall figure. She didn't even dress up much, but she was already a very eye-catching, delicate beauty. In addition, when she was bandaging Qin Feng's wound, the cloth dress on her body was torn to pieces. She looked a bit more charming and flirtatious. "Ah, young Master Qiao, let's hurry up and leave." Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she hid behind Qin Feng and tightly grabbed onto the corner of his clothes. Qin Feng circulated the true qi in his body, but he still didn't succeed. He pulled Hua Xiaojun and swaggered to a table. He casually took out a gold bar and said, "Open your dog eyes wide and look carefully. I'm here to stay and spend money. Don't you want to do business anymore?" The gold bar flickered under the candlelight in the shop, and it almost blinded the waiter and the others. Hua Xiaojun immediately covered her small mouth, and her beautiful eyes were filled with shock. So young Master Qiao really did have a gold bar. The waiter was stunned for a while before coming back to his senses. It was as if he had changed into a different person. He put on a fawning smile and said, "Hee, this is young Master Qiao, right? I hope young Master Qiao won't blame me for my negligence earlier. I'll get a good guest room for young Master Qiao right now and prepare some food and wine to bring to your room. Get us 2 sets of clean clothes. Don't let anyone disturb our rest." After Qin Feng said this, he pulled the absent-minded Hua Xiaojun upstairs. The waiter and the 5 strong men were still stunned on the spot. They stared at each other like idiots. "Holy shit, it's really a gold bar? I've never seen a gold bar in my life." One of the strong men suddenly woke up with a start. His eyeballs were almost glued to the gold bar on the table. The other 4 strong men also surrounded them. They were so excited that their necks were red. The waiter quickly grabbed the gold bar and bit it. He exclaimed, "It's really a gold bar. The gold content of this gold bar is too pure. It's definitely not gold from our distant ice city. Those 2 fellows are probably from out of town." As the waiter spoke, a cold glint flashed across his eyes. The other 5 strong men seemed to have seen through his intentions. One of them lowered his voice and said, "Big brother He Sui, what do you mean?" He Sui looked around. There were no customers in the hotel tonight, so they were staying in Qin Feng's room. Moreover, the boss had gone out to purchase goods. He Sui couldn't help but think of something. "Zhang Hu, this is a great opportunity to make a fortune. If we do it well, it will be equivalent to our lifetime earnings. Do you guys want to do it?" He Sui suddenly looked at the strong man leading the group. Although Zhang Hu had some guesses, he wasn't sure. He asked, "Big brother He, can you tell us the details of the plan first?" He Sui was really blinded by wealth. He lowered his voice and said, "The man and the woman are both from out of town. The man is injured and doesn't look like a warrior. He took out a gold bar, so I believe he has a lot of jewelry on him. When the night is quiet, we will rob them. We will kill the man, and the woman is pretty. We can enjoy ourselves together and split the money evenly. Then, we will go our separate ways and enjoy the rest of our lives." After He Sui finished his plan, he looked at Zhang Hu and the others eagerly. The 5 of them were shocked. They didn't expect He Sui to really want to rob them. However, when they looked at the gold bar in He Sui's hand, their eyes were filled with greed. Zhang Hu took the lead and said, "Okay, I'll join you, big brother He." "Big brother who? Count me in. I've seen that guy before. He doesn't have any spiritual qi. He's just an ordinary person." Under the temptation of money and beautiful women, the 5 strong men didn't hesitate and joined He Sui's group. He Sui was overjoyed. He believed that with the help of Zhang Hu and the others, the man and the woman would be food on a plate. Chapter 1344. Remember in 1 second. Pen, writing, learning wonderful, pop-up window, free reading. Qin Feng didn't know what He Sui and the others were thinking. At this time, he had already entered a large room on the west side of the 2nd floor. The furnishings in the room were very simple. There was a large wooden bed and a few wooden tables and chairs. There was a sandy curtain by the wall and a large wooden tub inside. Qin Feng guessed that this was probably the place to bathe. The longer Qin Feng stayed in China, the more he felt that this place was like ancient times. There weren't even electric lights, and the room was only lit by candles. Young Master Qiao, Would you like to bathe and change first? Hua Xiaojun finally regained her senses. Her small face suddenly blushed. This was the first time she had been a man's servant and stayed in the same room as a man. Qin Feng's body was covered in dry blood, so a bath was necessary. Hua Xiaojun went to fill the tub. Just as she finished, there was a knock on the door. Hee hee. Young Master Qiao, these are new clothes for the two of you, as well as some wine and food. I hope the two of you have a good night. I won't disturb your rest anymore. He Sui carried a plate of beef and wine into the room. He even prepared 2 sets of new clothes. After putting the things down, he smiled at Qin Feng and left the room. Hua Xiaojun opened the clothes and exclaimed, "Wow, young Master Qiao, that person brought silk clothes. These 2 clothes cost a few silver coins." Hua Xiaojun was used to living a poor life since she was young. She had always worn coarse clothes. She had worn these clothes for 3 years. She had been sewing and patching them up, not willing to throw them away. Now, looking at the beautiful long dress that only a lady from a noble family could wear, her eyes were filled with twinkling stars. Qin Feng didn't care about this and had already taken off his clothes. Hua Xiaojun was shocked again. "Qiao, young Master Qiao." Qin Feng realized that he had been seen naked, but he didn't care too much. He walked to the basin and sat down. "Xiaojun, eat first. Don't worry about me." Hua Xiaojun's face was full of red. She lowered her head and walked to the curtain. "Young Master Qiao, I'll wait for you to eat together. If you don't move, I'll help you bathe." Before Qin Feng could speak, he felt a pair of hands fall on his shoulders. However, Hua Xiaojun was used to rough work, so her fingers had calluses. "Young Master Qiao, this servant's hands are a little rough. Please forgive me." This was Qin Feng's first time seeing a woman as obedient and considerate as Hua Xiaojun. Even Ghost Cultivator Xiao Li was slightly inferior to her. Qin Feng originally wanted to wash himself, but when he thought of the many wounds on his back that he couldn't touch, he let Hua Xiaojun do as she pleased. She had to use 3 basins of clean water to wash away the blood on Qin Feng's body. When she saw the 3 basins of bloody water, Hua Xiaojun felt slightly afraid, and her body started to tremble uncontrollably. "Xiaojun, you've been busy for a long time. Come and eat." Qin Feng had already changed into clean clothes. He hadn't eaten all day, so he was a bit hungry. Hua Xiaojun stood obediently by Qin Feng's side, but she didn't sit down. When she saw Qin Feng pick up the chopsticks, she carefully picked up the pair beside her. Little Zhen, why don't you sit down? How tiring is it to stand and eat?" Qin Feng didn't care too much. He ate the beef and drank the white wine. He felt like a swordsman from ancient times. Hua Xiaojun hurriedly shook her head and said, "There's a difference between master and servant. Young Master Qiao can sit. Little Zhen will eat standing." Qin Feng was almost speechless. This Hua Xiaojun's 3 obediences and 4 virtues were deeply ingrained. When he saw that Hua Xiaojun was so tired that her face was a bit pale, he couldn't bear it and pulled her to sit on a chair beside him. Unexpectedly, Hua Xiaojun jumped up in fright as if she had done something terribly wrong. "Wah, young Master Qiao, please spare this servant. How can I sit with young master? I think I won't eat." Qin Feng slapped his forehead. He could only let her be. After much persuasion, he persuaded Hua Xiaojun to eat again. This woman played the role of a servant to the fullest. Qin Feng found that Hua Xiaojun only dared to carefully put a few dishes in her mouth from a plate that he had used as chopsticks. As for the meat dish with beef and chicken soup, Hua Xiaojun refused to eat no matter what. After eating, Qin Feng went to the large bed to lie down and began to heal his wounds. Hua Xiaojun obediently cleaned up the dishes, then went to fill the water for a bath. "Master, that daughter's red was drugged." Little Pig's voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Qin Feng was stunned for a moment. "Why didn't I feel anything?" Little Pig said, "Because Master drank the all-purpose antidote before, there are still some residual effects in Master's body. The all-purpose antidote directly removed the drug." Qin Feng understood, but his thoughts were already on the drugged daughter's red. This wine was delivered by the waiter, so naturally, he was the one who drugged it. Qin Feng quickly guessed the reason. It was most likely that the gold bar caused trouble, or those people took a fancy to Hua Xiaojin's beauty. Qin Feng sneered inwardly. No matter what the reason was, they dared to target him. Qin Feng must teach those people a lesson. After cultivating on the bed for a while, Qin Feng still couldn't circulate his true qi. At this time, Hua Xiaojin finished her bath and walked to the side of the bed in her embroidered dress. Qin Feng's eyes instantly lit up. Qiyang Master Qiao. Hua Xiaojin's heart was in a whirl under Qin Feng's piercing gaze. Her little face was flushed, and she lowered her head like a docile little bunny. This woman was wearing coarse cotton clothes, and there was pot dust and mud on her face. Her hair was unkempt, but she was tall and pretty. Now that she was clean, she looked like a goddess descending to the earth. Her beauty was comparable to that of Lin Bei and the other girls. Ding! The Hedonist sovereign system has issued a quest. Change Hua Xiaojin's ideology of 3 obediences and 4 virtues. Quest time limit, 1 year. If the quest is successfully completed, the system will reward you 100,000 Hedonist points and a pair of pink Aurora wings. If the quest is failed, 200,000 Hedonist points will be deducted, and the cosmic flying sword will be taken back. The system's notification suddenly sounded, and Qin Feng was slightly stunned. This quest seemed simple, but it was actually very difficult to complete. Hua Xiaojin looked to be in her early 20s. Her ideology of 3 obediences and 4 virtues had been instilled in her for 20 years, and it was already deeply rooted. It was impossible to change it overnight. Young Master Qiao, Hua Xiaojin couldn't help but remind Qin Feng when she saw that Qin Feng didn't speak for a long time. "Oh, now that you're done, go to bed and sleep." Qin Feng quickly gathered his thoughts, moved to the side, and gestured for Hua Xiaojin to come up. However, she stood nervously by the bed and didn't move. She said carefully, "Young Master Qiao, you're the master. How can a servant sleep on the same bed as you? I'll sleep on the floor." Qin Feng looked under the bed. The floor was made of mud and stone, and it looked cold. There were no extra bed sheets in the room. So how was Hua Xiaojin going to sleep? Just as he was thinking, he saw Hua Xiaojin lying on the mud and stone floor. She used a wooden box as a pillow under her head. "Xiaojin, you'll catch a cold if you sleep like this. Come up. Are you afraid that I'll do something to you?" Qin Feng was speechless. Hua Xiaojin hurriedly stood up and looked at Qin Feng nervously. "Young Master Qiao, I don't want that. Why you my master? Even if you need me to serve you, I'll..." Hua Xiaojin didn't continue. Her little face was so red that water was about to drip out. Qin Feng thought that if this kind of woman was released to the outside world, how many men would fight over her until their heads bled? "Then get on the bed." Qin Feng didn't explain further. Hua Xiaojin thought Qin Feng was going to do that kind of thing. She was so nervous that she trembled. After hesitating for a moment, she slowly climbed onto the bed and untied the ribbon around her waist. "Go to sleep first. I'll call you when I want to." Qin Feng stopped Hua Xiaojin. Hua Xiaojin was stunned for a moment, then shyly burrowed into the covers. "Young Master Qiao, call me when you want to. When you're done, I'll go sleep on the floor." After Hua Xiaojin finished speaking, she lay down with her back facing Qin Feng. She was extremely shy, and her body was tightly pressed against the side of the bed. She felt like she was going to fall at any moment. Qin Feng shook his head. He knew that he wouldn't be able to change this woman's mind for a while, so he calmed down and began to cultivate. Qin Feng ate all sorts of miraculous medicines, but in the end, he couldn't circulate the true qi in his body. He busied himself until the latter half of the night. A few black shadows flashed outside the room, causing him to be on guard. "Big brother, is that medicine okay?" In the dead of night, the sound of whispers came from outside the room. Qin Feng looked at Hua Xiaojin. She was probably tired from the day and had already fallen asleep. "That's a knockout drug given to me by a young hero from a sect. It's definitely not a problem to knock out that silly boy." He Sui's voice rose a few octaves. The 5 strong men were no longer afraid. They were about to pry open the door and rob the room when the door suddenly opened, giving everyone a fright. Why are you awake?" Zhang Hu cried out strangely. He Sui was so scared that he fell on his butt. It was quite scary in the middle of the night. Qin Feng pretended to be confused and said, "Huh? What are you guys doing in the middle of the night instead of sleeping?" "I was in a hurry to relieve myself." Zhang Hu and the others patted their chests and panted. He Sui had already climbed up from the floor. He glared at Qin Feng and said, "Didn't you drink?" "I'm injured, so I can't drink." "Is there a problem?" He Sui was depressed. He had forgotten that the boy was injured. Originally, the six of them had planned to knock Qin Feng out and rob him of his money. Then, they would play with Hua Xiaojun and kill both of them. They didn't expect their plan to go wrong at the beginning. However, Qin Feng was covered in wounds and looked weak. He Sui didn't care that his plan had gone wrong. He stared at him coldly and shouted, "Where's the girl?" Qin Feng had already expected that these people had bad intentions. He pretended to be confused and said, "She's sleeping on the bed." "What are you guys doing?" "What? I came here in the middle of the night to fuck your woman and rob you of your money." He Sui lost his patience and directly revealed his fox's tail. Qin Feng pretended to be surprised and said, "Ah, your restaurant is a scam? I'm going to the yamen to sue you." Chapter 1345. In 1 second, he had memorized it. There was no pop-up window to read it for free. Even though Qin Feng couldn't use his true qi, he didn't care about the 6 people in front of him. But he looked at Hua Xiaojun, who was still sleeping soundly and didn't want to fight here. He hurriedly said, "Guys, what do you want? Let me go." He Sui and the others sneered when they saw that Qin Feng was scared to death before they even did anything. Zhang Hu shouted in a low voice, "Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and take out all the gold bars, or I'll kill you." "So, you want to rob me?" Don't kill me. I can give you money," Qin Feng said hurriedly. He Sui laughed strangely. "You guessed wrong. I'm not only here to rob you, but also to rape you. Your woman is really beautiful. We'll help you satisfy her later." After he said that, there was some movement next to the bed. They were stunned for a moment and found that Hua Xiaojun had turned over and fallen asleep. But in the dark, no one noticed that Hua Xiaojun's half-open eyes were full of anxiety. She didn't sleep at all. Hua Xiaojun, who had been instilled with the values of a woman since she was a child, didn't dare to sleep in her master's bed. Even if she was really tired, she just pretended to sleep to avoid the embarrassment of sharing a bed with Qin Feng. Realizing that this was a scam, Hua Xiaojun was burning with anxiety. She didn't dare to get up, not because she was afraid of death, but because she wanted to find an opportunity to save her master's life. No one knew that, not even Qin Feng. You want to rape me? I'll give you the money, and you let me and Xiaojun go. How about that?" Qin Feng looked nervous. He Sui's face turned cold, and he shouted, "Brat, you can't even protect yourself now, and you still want to bargain with me? What's the matter? Do you really love that chick? Then I'll kill you and let her go. How about that?" Don't, just let me go. I don't care about that woman anymore." Qin Feng hurriedly refused. He Sui and the others burst into laughter. They loved to see the ugly side of human nature. Qin Feng lost his patience and continued, "Gentlemen, I don't have any more gold bars with me. They're too precious. I'll take you to get them. Once you get them, you must let me go." Compared to Hua Xiaojun's beauty, the gold bar was obviously more attractive. Moreover, as long as he had the gold bar, it would be the same whenever he played with women. Their eyes lit up. He Sui said, "Zhang Hu, watch that woman. I'll go with this kid to get the gold bars." Zhang Hu was not willing to stay. What if he Sui took the opportunity to run away with the gold bar? Even if he didn't run, who would know if he hit a few gold bars? "Big brother, you don't know any martial arts. It'll be troublesome if this brat resists. It's better for us to accompany you." That woman is asleep and can't run away. Seeing that his thoughts were seen through, he Sui did not insist. He smiled and said, "Brother, you're so considerate. All right, let's go together." They followed Qin Feng out of the room. After walking for a while, Hua Xiaojun abruptly sat up on the bed. However, she wasn't in a hurry to report the case or think of a way to escape. Instead, she sat dazedly on the bed with a dazed expression. Hua Xiaojun overheard their conversation. When she heard that Qin Feng only wanted to live, but left her here, her heart felt as if it had been pierced by needles. In fact, this was not Hua Xiaozhen's first day as a servant. She had always been a servant to the daughters of rich families. She was used to being ordered around by those arrogant daughters and even humiliated. She knew that as a servant, she had no right to be cared for by her master. However, Hua Xiaozhen felt that Qin Feng was different. He was the best master she had ever met. However, after what happened just now, Hua Xiaozhen realized that she was thinking too much. "Brat, where did you hide the gold bars? Are you kidding us? If you dare to play tricks, I'll cut you down with my saber." Qin Feng had already left one Hua tower with the 6 of them. After a few turns, they came to an empty alley. He Sui and the others suddenly became vigilant and said some harsh words to scare Qin Feng. "Don't worry, it's under the stone in front." Qin Feng walked to the deepest part of the alley and looked around to make sure there was no one else. He planned to kill He Sui and the others here. Hearing that the gold bars were here, the 6 of them immediately became alert. Zhang Hu ran to move the stone, but found nothing. "Damn it, this brat is cheating us. There's no gold bars here," Zhang Hu roared. The other 4 strong men immediately surrounded Qin Feng. Each of them had a large saber hidden on them. They waved their long sabers and glared at Qin Feng. "Brat, you're really cheating us. I think you're tired of living. I'll give you one last chance. Where did you hide the gold bars? If you don't hand them over, your life will be in danger." Everyone was talking at once, but Qin Feng looked indifferent. He waved his hand, and like a magic trick, a gold bar appeared in his hand. The gold bars glittered in the night, and the 6 of them were stunned. He Sui snatched a dozen gold bars and stared at Qin Feng. "How come you only have these? Do you have any more? Take them all out." Qin Feng sneered and said, "I have a lot of gold bars, but they're not worth anything compared to the real treasures I have." He Sui was stunned. He rolled his eyes and said, "You have other treasures? Take them out and let me see." Seeing that they had taken the bait, Qin Feng took out the Star Technology lightning crossbow. It still had one unused bullet, and the black pockmark man had escaped. Now, it was the perfect time to kill this group of people. What the hell is this? Don't play tricks, brat. He Sui was an ordinary person and didn't know anything about spiritual weapons. Zhang Hu and the others had some experience with cultivation, so they were interested in the longbow in Qin Feng's hand. "Brat, is this a spiritual weapon?" Zhang Hu asked. "Big brother, you have a good eye. This is a superior blue-grade spiritual weapon," Qin Feng said. To Zhang Hu and the others, a blue-grade spiritual weapon was amazing. The 5 of them exclaimed in surprise, but He Sui was confused. "Zhang Hu, what the hell is that? Is it worth more than gold bars?" Zhang Hu abruptly came to his senses, his voice trembling as he said, "Big brother He Sui, this is a treasure that even those people from the Holy Gate are fighting over. I'm afraid that even a chest of gold bars can't exchange for a blue-grade spiritual weapon." He Sui froze and looked at the lightning crossbow again. He suddenly snatched it and muttered, "This broken crossbow is worth a chest of gold bars? It doesn't even have a string. Are you kidding me?" Zhang Hu also realized that the crossbow didn't have a string. He glared at Qin Feng and said, "How can this thing attack without a string? Don't try to fool me with a fake. Let me tell you, I'm also a martial warrior." Qin Feng had heard the word warrior from Hua Xiaozhen before, so it was probably what the people here called warriors. Qin Feng didn't care about this and said, "This kind of spiritual weapon doesn't need a bowstring. It can attack as long as you use your true qi." Zhang Hu immediately became excited. He took the lightning crossbow from He Sui's hand and pulled it with true qi, but it didn't move. "Fuck, are you trying to trick me again? Do you want to die?" Zhang Hu was furious. Qin Feng was confused. "Why can't you shoot it? It was working before. Don't you know how to use it? I'll show you." Qin Feng took the Thunder Radiance crossbow back. Zhang Hu and the others still hadn't realized the danger. Qin Feng took 2 steps back and said, "Heroes, stand back a little. The power of this blue-grade spiritual weapon cannot be underestimated. Don't hurt anyone." Seeing that Qin Feng was still worried, everyone started to retreat. However, Zhang Hu only took 3 steps back when his expression suddenly changed. He roared and swung his blade. Stinking brat, you don't even have true chi in your body. How can you use a spiritual weapon? What the hell is this? Before Zhang Hu finished speaking, there was a loud explosion. The lightning crossbow suddenly emitted a blue light. Qin Feng shot an arrow. It was as if there was a blue electric light. The dazzling light filled the entire alley, causing everyone to scream in fear. Boom! The speed of the lightning was extremely fast. In a moment, the alley in front of Qin Feng turned into ruins. Zhang Hu and the others exploded at the same time. Flesh and blood flew everywhere, and the ground became a river of blood. Qin Feng was also sent flying by Zhang Hu's blade. This was a strike from a true Qi Stage 1 martial warrior. If Qin Feng didn't retreat a few steps, he would have been cut to death. The loud explosions continued. Qin Feng hurriedly poured a handful of pills into his mouth and sat on the ground for a while to recover. Fuck, a mere true Qi Stage 1 dares to injure me. This is really a case of a tiger being bullied by a dog. Qin Feng supported himself on the wall and walked back. Hua Xiaojun was still in the hotel. The arrow just now caused a huge commotion. Presumably, it would attract a lot of people. They couldn't stay here anymore. Qin Feng had to take Hua Xiaojun and escape through the night. Xiaojun, wake up. Let's quickly leave. Qin Feng walked back while holding his chest. He was so tired that he was gasping for breath. He found that Hua Xiaojun was already awake. She sat on the bed like a fool. Xiaojun, are you okay? Qin Feng sat on the bed and asked. Hua Xiaojun didn't say anything and didn't look at Qin Feng. There were tears swirling in her eyes. He didn't know what was going on with her. Actually, Hua Xiaojun's emotions were turbulent. The reason she didn't run away was because she was worried about Qin Feng. Although Qin Feng abandoned her, Hua Xiaojun couldn't let go of her master. What she didn't expect was that Qin Feng actually came back. Could it be that he joined the group of bad people and came back to violate her? Xiaojun, don't just stand there. We have to leave this place immediately. Qin Feng also didn't understand what was going on with this woman. He pulled her to get off the bed. Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she immediately struggled to resist. In her panic, she touched Qin Feng's wound. It was so painful that he squatted on the ground and sweated profusely. Young Master Qiao, why is your chest injured again? Hua Xiaojun was shocked and immediately jumped off the bed. Qin Feng's clothes were soaked in blood. It was scary to look at. Chapter 1346. Qin Feng endured the pain and stood up. He ignored his bleeding wounds and said, Xiaojun, let's go first. I killed those people, so I'm afraid someone will come. Qin Feng didn't know much about China, but Hua Xiaojun had told him about the Yamen. Qin Feng thought of the constables of the Yamen in ancient times. If they found out that someone died here, it would be big trouble. Hua Xiaojun froze. She suddenly felt that something was wrong and was completely different from what she thought. Why did young Master Qiao kill those people? Didn't he abandon her and run away? Qin Feng didn't have time to explain so much to Hua Xiaojun. He carried her and ran out. Hurried footsteps came from the distant streets, and the light of torches shone over. Crap, young Master Qiao, hurry and run. I'll stay and take the blame for you. Hua Xiaojun finally came back to her senses. She understood that she had misunderstood Qin Feng and was incomparably moved. She was only young Master Qiao's female servant that could be ordered around. She couldn't even complain when asked to warm the bed. Who would have thought that young Master Qiao would get injured again to save her? Hua Xiaojun couldn't help but cry. At this time, the neighing of a horse sounded. Hua Xiaojun felt her body lighten, and the streets around her quickly receded. Qin Feng sped on Flaming Dragon Horse and asked quickly, Xiaojun, which way is your house? Hua Xiaojun felt incomparably warm and safe in Qin Feng's arms. She wiped her tears and said, Young Master Qiao, head south and you'll reach West Town's Hua Village. You're injured. Let me help you bandage it. Qin Feng found the direction and sped along. Flaming Dragon Horse's speed was extremely fast. In just a short while, it had shaken off the group of soldiers. Hua Xiaojun carefully helped Qin Feng treat his wounds. After bandaging them, she hugged Qin Feng tightly for some reason. There was something in her heart that she couldn't say. After a night of traveling, Qin Feng arrived at West Town's Hua village when the sky in the distance began to brighten. This place was even more remote than River Jade Village. A few villagers who had woken up early were carrying hoes to do farm work. Someone's come to Hua village. It seems like an outsider. When the villagers saw the tall and handsome horse, they all stopped to look. One of the old men exclaimed, "Is that third Grandma Wang's granddaughter?" It really was Xiaozhen. Wasn't she kidnapped by the bandits? Why did you come back? That man is riding a horse and wearing a silk robe. Obviously, he's from a rich family. Is he from the horseman gang? TSK. It's really a pity for Xiaozhen. There are hundreds of bandits in the horseman gang. She, as a woman, has long been defiled to death. After the crowd recognized Hua Xiaozhen, they all gathered around her. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaozhen down from Flaming Dragon Horse and patted the horse's back. Flaming Dragon Horse neighed loudly and galloped in the direction they came from. As it galloped, it suddenly disappeared into the smoke. Why did that horse run away? Little Zhen, who did you bring back? Hua Xiaozhen looked at the familiar scenery of her hometown and couldn't help but want to cry again. However, she suddenly felt a pair of wide and warm arms wrap around her. Hua Xiaozhen looked up and saw Qin Feng's determined face. Her heart immediately calmed down. Grandpa Li, Annie Zhou, Uncle Hua. This is young Master Qiao. I'm now young Master Qiao's female servant. Hua Xiaozhen hurriedly introduced. Everyone looked at Qin Feng with envious expressions. They thought Qin Feng was the young master of some rich family. Little Zhen, weren't you captured by the bandits? How did you become young Master Qiao's female servant? Which large family is young Master Qiao from? I don't think I've heard of the Qiao family in this River Jade village. Qin Feng didn't answer everyone's questions in case he gave himself away. Hua Xiaozhen said, I was almost kidnapped by bandits, but I was saved by young Master Qiao halfway. I came back this time to advise everyone to leave Hua village. I'm afraid the horseman gang bandits are here for revenge. Everyone's expression changed. A woman who looked like an auntie said, Revenge? What revenge? We didn't offend the horseman gang bandits. Hua Xiaozhen didn't know how to lie, so she could only tell the truth. When the people of Hua village found out that Qin Feng had killed 2 bandits, they cried out in fear. What? You killed bandits? Are you trying to kill our Hua village? Go, go, go. Hurry and leave Hua village. Don't come back for the rest of your lives. In the future, there will be no Hua Xiaozhen in Hua village. I've long known that you were a source of disaster. Now that you've brought disaster, how unlucky. The crowd, which had been amiable just a moment ago, suddenly turned hostile. Hua Xiaozhen was so anxious that she didn't know what to do. It didn't matter if she was scolded, but she didn't want to see young Master Qiao being chased away by everyone. Just as the atmosphere was at a stalemate, another large group of villagers ran over. The first to rush over was a young man in his 20s. When he saw Xiaozhen, he smiled evilly. Yo, little sister Xiaozhen is back. How are you doing in the horseman gang? Hua Xiaozhen saw that the man was clearly afraid. She shrunk into Qin Feng's embrace. Brother Zhou, I didn't go to the horseman gang. The young man was called Zhou Dafei. He cried out in alarm. What? You didn't go to the horseman gang? Weren't you captured by the bandits? Are you too embarrassed to say that your body was violated? This isn't your fault. We won't look down on you. It's a good thing that you came back. Come, let's go to Big Brother's house for a while. As Zhou Dafei spoke, he came up to pull Hua Xiaozhen away. Anyone could see his pettiness. Hua Xiaozhen was so anxious that she was about to cry. In the past, she was often harassed by Zhou Dafei in the village. Now that she grew up, she was even more afraid of this person. Big Brother Zhou, don't touch me. I'm young Master Qiao's female servant now. Hua Xiaozhen immediately hid behind Qin Feng. She poked her head out and looked at Zhou Dafei nervously. Only then did Zhou Dafei realize that an outsider had come. He looked at Qin Feng sloppily and spat on the ground. Yo, which family's young master came to a remote and desolate place like ours? Hua Village never welcomes outsiders. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and leave. Otherwise, I'll teach you a lesson. Zhou Dafei was the tyrant of Hua Village. He led a group of youths in Hua Village and fooled around all day. Even the uncles and old ladies at the side were slightly afraid of this person. They stood to the side and didn't say anything. Qin Feng had already looked around and discovered that the people in Hua Village were all normal villagers. There were no martial artists. He wanted to teach Zhou Dafei a lesson, but an old granny walked over with a cane. Xiaozhen? Is it really Xiaozhen who came back? Hua Xiaozhen suddenly ran towards the person. She held the old granny's arm and cried, "Granny, Xiaozhen is unfilial. I couldn't always stay by your side and take care of you." The person who came was Hua Xiaozhen's grandmother, Wang Xiumei. She lovingly patted Xiaozhen's head and said, "Xiaozhen, don't cry. Granny can take care of herself. On the other hand, you have a hard life. You were kidnapped by bandits." Wang Xiumei stopped mid-sentence as tears streamed down her face. Hua Xiaozhen hurriedly wiped away her tears and said with a trace of joy on her face, "Granny, I wasn't kidnapped by bandits. I was saved by young Master Qiao. I'm now his female servant." Young Master Qiao is a very good person. Hua Xiaozhen had already supported her grandmother to Qin Feng. She shyly said to Qin Feng, "Young Master Qiao, this is my grandmother." Qin Feng politely greeted Wang Xiumei. Suddenly, someone in the crowd shouted, "Wang Xiumei, your unfilial granddaughter has caused a lot of trouble outside. Hurry and get her out of Hua Village. Also, you leave with her. Don't drag us down." Wang Xiumei still didn't know that Qin Feng had killed the bandits. She glared at that person angrily and said, "Old Manly, what right do you have to chase away my granddaughter? Xiaozhen escaped with great difficulty. I won't let her go again." Old Manly glared and shouted, "Humph. That granddaughter of yours didn't obediently go to the horseman gang. Instead, she messed around with that wild man named Xiao. Now, she even killed the horseman gang's bandits. Is she trying to kill us?" Wang Xiumei jumped in fright. She grabbed her granddaughter's arm and asked, "Xiaozhen, is that true? You guys killed the bandits?" Hua Xiaozhen was extremely anxious. She had guessed that this would happen before she came back, so she didn't want to bring Qin Feng along to avoid making things difficult for Qin Feng. "Grandma, Xiaozhen is unfilial. Xiaozhen killed someone. This time, I came back to take Grandma away. Also, everyone, leave this place." After Wang Xiumei confirmed the truth, she seemed to have aged another 10 years. The villagers who rushed over later also exploded and all shouted for Hua Xiaozhen to scram. Seeing that the situation was getting out of hand, Qin Feng blocked Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Xiumei behind him and suddenly shouted, "All of you, shut up. This time, I came back with Xiaozhen to destroy the horseman gang. How can we let those evildoers go? If anyone says anything bad about Xiaozhen, don't blame me for being impolite." Qin Feng was tall and strong. His voice stunned the older villagers. However, Zhou Dafei wasn't afraid of Qin Feng. Looking at his heavily injured appearance, it looked like he could be knocked down with one punch. "Stinking brat, don't think that you're amazing just because you're the young master of a rich family. This is Hua Village. You can't behave atrociously here." Qin Feng had long since disliked Zhou Dafei, so he suddenly threw a punch. The sound of wind breaking came through the air, and the villagers cried out in fear. Although Qin Feng couldn't circulate his true qi, he was still an external stage 8 expert. Although he couldn't beat a true qi realm martial artist, he was more than enough to deal with an ant like Zhou Dafei. Bang! A muffled explosion sounded, and Zhou Dafei fell directly into the crop field a dozen or so meters away. Everyone was scared silly, and many of the more cowardly villagers immediately ran away. Zhang Dafei was knocked unconscious with one punch. He lay there motionlessly, and people thought he was dead. You really dare to make a move? All right, Hua Xiaozhen. Luckily, everyone treats you well normally, but you actually brought an outsider to suppress us. You really have a vicious heart." Faced with the crowd's criticism, Hua Xiaozhen acted as if she didn't hear it. Since she was young, she and her grandma relied on each other for survival, and suffered all the bullying from the other villagers. When she was young, she didn't have any rice at home and went to the neighbor's house to ask for some, but she was scolded harshly. Zhou Dafei's family was even more shameless. They asked Hua Xiaojin to take off her clothes and hug her before helping her, but Hua Xiaojin resolutely refused. Chapter 1347. Young Master Qiao, let's go home. Hua Xiaojin tugged at the corner of Qin Feng's shirt and looked at him with a weak expression. Qin Feng had already left with Hua Xiaojin and Wang Xiumei. Because he had sent Zhou Dafei flying with a punch, none of the villagers dared to stop him. They only grumbled behind him. Qin Feng felt bad when he arrived at Hua Xiaojin's house. It was a shabby thatched hut. It was dark and damp inside. Although it was called a house, it couldn't shelter the house from the wind and rain. It felt like the house could be blown away by a gust of wind. However, Hua Xiaojin and her grandmother had depended on each other in this simple and crude thatched hut since they were young. Aside from a table and a simple bed, there was nothing else of value in the house. Young Master Qiao, our family is poor. Please forgive us. Wang Xiumei had already regained her composure. She didn't blame Hua Xiaojin for offending the mountain bandits. She didn't mention it again, as if nothing had happened. This old lady in her 60s also had a rigid ideology of 3 obediences and 4 virtues. As an elder, she was subservient to Qin Feng. Qin Feng hurriedly helped Wang Xiumei up and let her sit on the chair. Grandma Wang, don't be so courteous with me. Xiaojun and I are good friends. If you don't mind, you can treat me like your grandson. Qin Feng's words scared Wang Xiumei so much that she almost fell off the chair. Hua Xiaojin nervously bent over and said, Young Master Qiao, please don't say that. This servant is of humble status. How would I dare to be friends with you? Seeing that Wang Xiumei and Hua Xiaojin were about to cry, Qin Feng's mouth twitched violently. He didn't say anything. The stubborn way of thinking in this world was frightening. Moreover, it was deeply ingrained in their blood. Qin Feng realized that the quest to change Hua Xiaojin's way of thinking was more difficult than he had imagined. He was a bit worried. Young Master Qiao, please sit. I'll go cook for you. There's nothing good to eat at home. Please forgive me, young Master Qiao. After Wang Xiumei regained her composure, she didn't dare to sit. She used her walking stick to cook. Qin Feng knew he couldn't stop her, so he followed her. Hua Xiaojin didn't leave. She stood by Qin Feng's side as if she was his shadow. Soon, a table of food was served. There were 3 dishes and 1 soup. The 3 dishes were all green vegetables, and the soup was also green vegetable soup. However, Qin Feng knew that this was probably the most extravagant meal Hua Xiaojin's family had ever eaten. Cough, cough. Grandma Wang Xiaojin, sit too. Qin Feng discovered that the 2 of them were standing by the table, and he felt a wave of depression in his heart. Hua Xiaojin smiled and shook her head. Wang Xiumei was startled. Young Master Qiao, you are of noble status. How can we sit together with you? Qin Feng and didn't say anything else. Master Qiao of Xiao of Feng, Wang said. Qin Feng of the Xiaojin. S Qin's Feng, Qin, Xiaojin of Shan. S of Feng, Feng's Wang Feng Zhan's to leave. Qin Feng was at his wit's end and didn't say anything else. Wang Xiumei suddenly said, Young Master Qiao, after this meal, please leave with Xiaojin. Qin Feng froze. Why do you have to leave? Young Master Qiao, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to drive you away. It's just that you've offended the bandits of the Horseman gang. If they find out that you 2 have returned, there will definitely be a big problem. I can see that young Master Qiao is a kind person, and I can rest assured with Xiaojin by your side, as your servant. Hua Xiaojin was already crying her heart out. She hugged her grandmother and looked reluctant to leave. Qin Feng was speechless. In the eyes of these villagers, the bandits of the Horseman gang were like demons, but Qin Feng didn't put them in his eyes at all. Grandma Wang, don't worry. I came back with little Zhen, this time to eradicate the Horseman gang. If they come looking for us, it will save me the time to find them. Qin Feng said it very casually. It was just a group of bandits. If he wasn't injured, he would have rushed over with his golden wheel and golden phoenix. He could have destroyed the entire mountain in minutes. However, Wang Xiaomei was so shocked that the chopsticks in her hand fell to the ground. She didn't bother to pick them up and said to Qin Feng in a panic, "Young Master Qiao, you probably don't know how powerful the Horseman Gang is. They have a lot of people. There are at least 100 of them, and all of them are tall and sturdy men. How can you fight them alone? You'd better take Xiaozhen away." It could be seen that Wang Xiaomei really loved Hua Xiaozhen. She knew that if Qin Feng took Xiaozhen away, the bandits would definitely vent their anger on her. But even so, Wang Xiaomei had no complaints. "Grandma, sob, Xiaozhen don't leave you. Grandma, come with us." Hua Xiaozhen cried even more sadly. Wang Xiaomei lovingly patted her head and said, "Grandma won't leave. This is our home. Even if I die, I'll guard this place." The two women hugged each other and cried bitterly. They looked like they were going to die together. Qin Feng rolled his eyes and couldn't help but say, "Xiaozhen, don't be sad. I said I would destroy the Horseman Gang, so I won't lie." Hua Xiaozhen was stunned, but she quickly recovered her sad expression. She didn't believe that Qin Feng could destroy the Horseman Gang. It was an evil force that even the Hua family village's yamen couldn't destroy. How could Qin Feng do it alone? "Young Master Qiao, why don't you go rest on the bed first? I'll talk to Grandma a bit more, and then we'll leave." Hua Xiaozhen made up her mind. She couldn't harm Qin Feng because of her. Qin Feng was completely speechless. He knew that they wouldn't believe him no matter what he said, so he simply went to bed and recuperated. Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Xiaomei were saying goodbye forever when the Hua family village in West Town exploded. Did you guys hear? That girl Xiaozhen brought back a man, and they killed the people from the Horseman Gang. There were over 100 families in the Hua family village, and the ones gathered at the village entrance were only a small portion. When this news reached the ears of every family, they were so scared that they trembled. Crazy. This Xiaozhen simply doesn't want to live. If she wants to die, she better not drag us down with her. No, we have to chase Hua Xiaozhen and her family out of the Hua family village right now. Otherwise, everyone will suffer. Do you think we don't want to? The man that Xiaozhen, that shameless, stinky woman, brought back is so powerful. He knocked Zhou Dafei out with one punch. The villagers gathered together to discuss this matter, and the originally noisy atmosphere suddenly quieted. Zhou Dafei was a notorious tyrant in the village. He was young and strong, and caused trouble every day. No one in the entire Hua family village was his match. Now, then an even more ruthless character came, who dared to cause trouble for Qin Feng. Then what should we do? We can't just wait for death, right? The crowd sighed. No one could think of a countermeasure. At this time, Zhou Dafei was already awake, but he still felt dizzy. It was like yesterday when he was drunk. He was the angriest person in the crowd. Being publicly slapped in the face by Qin Feng was something that had never happened in the Hua family village before. That bastard! Wait for your elder to call more people to kill him. Zhou Dafei's angry roar made the villagers nervous. His father, Zhou Hai, hurriedly pulled him back. "Don't go. That brat clearly practiced martial arts. For poor people like us, going would just be throwing our lives away." Zhou Dafei instantly softened. He also realized that Qin Feng was very likely a martial artist. This way, there was no way for him to take revenge. The atmosphere became quiet again. Zhou Hai's eyes suddenly lit up. He slapped his thigh and yelled, "With his son, hurry and tell the Horseman Gang that Hua Xiaozhen brought that wild man to the village. This way, not only can we keep our lives, but the Horseman Gang might even reward us." Zhou Hai's idea was truly brilliant. The villagers instantly became excited. "Big brother," Zhou thought of a good idea. "I think we'll do it this way. As lowly people, they should drag out an ignoble existence. They actually dared to offend the Horseman Gang. That bastard couple is courting death." Everyone agreed with this idea. Zhou Dafei's depressed expression disappeared, and he hurriedly rushed to the Horseman Gang's mountaintop. The Hua family village looked calm and peaceful in the afternoon, but there was a hidden danger. Hua Xiaozhen chatted with her grandmother for the entire afternoon before reluctantly preparing to leave. Young Master Qiao, let's hurry and leave, Hua Xiaojun said in a low voice, deeply afraid of disturbing Qin Feng's rest. Qin Feng got off the bed and looked seriously at Hua Xiaojun. We're not in a hurry to leave now. Wait until I destroy the horseman gang. Hua Xiaojun was extremely anxious. Wang Xiumei already walked up to persuade him. Young Master Qiao, we appreciate your intentions, but the horseman gang isn't something you can deal with. Hurry and take Xiaojun away. Don't ever return to the Hua family village. The two women started to persuade Qin Feng again. Halfway through, the sound of horse hooves suddenly came from outside the house. The two women were so scared that they almost knelt down. Crap, I'm afraid the horseman gang is here. Wang Xiumei's hand, holding her walking stick, trembled. Hua Xiaojun couldn't care less about the difference between master and servant. She forcefully pulled Qin Feng towards the back room. Young Master Qiao, hurry and come with me. If you don't leave now, it'll be too late. Seeing the two women jump up and down anxiously, Qin Feng felt helpless. His expression was indifferent, as if nothing had happened. A black shadow jumped into the room, scaring Hua Xiaojun into crying out. Zhou Dafei, what are you doing here? Zhou Dafei's face was still a bit swollen, but he was currently flushed with success. He smiled at Qin Feng and said, Stinking brat, now you know to run? Weren't you very arrogant earlier? You even said you wanted to destroy the horseman gang? Now that I've called the horseman gang over, why don't you destroy one for your elder to see? Hua Xiaojun was so angry that her face turned green. She had been bullied by this guy since she was young, but because of her ideals, she had always endured humiliation. Now that she found out that Zhou Dafei intentionally called the mountain bandits over to harm Qin Feng, this woman who had never said a dirty word in her 20 years exploded. Zhou Dafei, you bastard, what grievances does young Master Qiao have with you? Why do you want to harm him? Zhou Dafei suddenly froze. This was the first time he had seen Hua Xiaojun so angry. What was wrong with this woman today? Hua Xiaojun, you dare to yell at your elder? Just you wait. After your dog's hit, young Master Qiao is torn to pieces by the horseman gang, I'll force myself on you. Zhou Dafei was also furious. He stared at Hua Xiaojun's body without restraint. His frivolous words almost made Wang Xiumei faint from anger. Chapter 1348. Hua Xiaojun cried, but not because she was insulted. She had endured humiliation since she was young and was used to it. She realized that young Master Qiao would definitely die this time. Young Master Qiao, this lowly servant is guilty. This lowly servant has let young Master Qiao down. Hua Xiaojun suddenly knelt in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng was about to go crazy. He held back a belly full of anger and suddenly disappeared. He appeared in front of Zhou Dafei in the blink of an eye. Slap! A loud slap spread out, stunning Wang Xiumei and Hua Xiaojun. Qin Feng's slap was so overbearing that half of Zhou Dafei's face immediately swelled up. He felt as if his head was almost sent flying. You dare to hit me? You? Zhou Dafei stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. He was halfway through his sentence when Qin Feng slapped him again. I have to thank you, idiot. You saved me the trouble of finding the horseman gang myself. These two slaps are for Xiaojun. If you dare to bully her again, I'll take your dog life. Although Qin Feng couldn't circulate his true energy, his stage 8 external strength couldn't be underestimated. At least, it was more than enough to deal with normal people. The two slaps completely stunned Zhou Dafei. Wang Xiumei was still staring with her old eyes wide open. Hua Xiaojun was still kneeling on the ground, and her tears flowed even more. This time, she was moved to tears. She had been a servant for more than 10 years and had changed countless mistresses, but this was the first time she had met such a good mistress like Qin Feng. Bang! A muffled explosion sounded. Qin Feng couldn't be bothered to talk to Zhou Dafei anymore. He kicked him dozens of meters away. At this time, the sound of hooves stopped. Qin Feng walked out of the room and saw over 20 mountain bandits at the village entrance. Each of them rode a large horse. They were bare-chested and had a large knife at their waists. They fiercely surrounded the village. Not good. The horseman gang is here. So many at once? This time, Hua Xiaojin and young Master Qiao are dead for sure. That Xiao guy is so arrogant. He actually dared to attack Zhou Dafei. The entire Hua family village gathered at the village entrance. They trembled in fear when they saw the 20 mountain bandits. The leader was a bald, brawny man. His eyes were half closed as he looked at the crowd with disdain. He suddenly shouted, "Who the hell dares to kill the brothers of the Horseman gang? Hurry up and come out to die." This bald-headed big brother was the second leader of the Horseshoe Gang, Ma Long, who was at the first stage of True Qi realm. That angry roar was like muffled thunder, scaring many villagers into kneeling. Zhou Dafei's father, Zhou Hai, was jolted awake. When he saw his son lying on the ground unconscious, he mustered up his courage and ran to Ma Long. "Big brothers, I know who framed your brothers." Ma Long glared at him and roared, "Who is it? Point me out, and I'll spare the lives of the others." All of the villagers breathed a sigh of relief. Zhou Hai hurriedly pointed at Qin Feng and yelled, It's that stinking brat in the silk brocade." Ma Long's gaze fell on Qin Feng. After sizing him up, he did not take Qin Feng seriously. He suddenly leapt off the horse and landed in front of Qin Feng, who was more than 10 meters away. When he landed, he had already pulled out the large saber at his waist and was about to cut Qin Feng in half. "Big brother, please have mercy. I am willing to go back with Big brother. Please spare young Master Qiao." Before Qin Feng could make a move, Hua Xiaojin suddenly ran out and knelt in front of everyone, crying her heart out. The large saber in Ma Long's hand hovered above Qin Feng's head. After he glanced at Hua Xiaojin, a playful expression appeared on his face. "Yo, isn't this the woman that my big brother has his eyes on? As expected, she's pretty enough. After I kill this brat, I'll bring you back to the mountain and satisfy you every night." Ma Long ignored Hua Xiaojin's pleas. After regaining his senses, he prepared to continue slashing. Qin Feng was still rational and did not clash with this group of people. With his current strength, he could only rely on the star technology to deal with more than 20 True Qi Level 1 bandits. However, this was the Hua family village. He couldn't possibly kill everyone, right? Otherwise, if the star technology was exposed, it would definitely cause a lot of trouble. Qin Feng also thought of letting the Golden Fur Lion King fight, but in the end, the location of the Hua family village was not suitable for a fierce battle. After the battle, the villagers would definitely leak the news. "Hero, don't kill me. I have a lot of gold. How about I give it all to you?" Just as the large saber was about to graze his scalp, Qin Feng suddenly took out a handful of gold bars. Even the Horseman Gang's second leader, Ma Long, was stunned. He had been a bandit for so many years and robbed a lot of money, but this was the first time he had seen so many gold bars. "Damn, where did you get so many gold bars, brat? Which family's disciple are you?" Ma Long snatched the dozen or so gold bars from Qin Feng's hand. He knocked on them and discovered that they were really pure gold. He was a bit worried. Could it be that he had met the son of a rich family? "I'm not from Distant Eye City. I came from another place to do business. I've earned a lot of money these years. As long as you spare my life, I'm willing to give you all of my family's wealth." Qin Feng pretended to be greedy for life and afraid of death. The group of bandits had already surrounded him. When they saw the dozen or so gold bars Qin Feng took out, their expressions became excited. "Second leader, this brat is really fucking rich. We must squeeze him dry. Since he's from another place, there's nothing to be afraid of. Our Horseman Gang is going to make a fortune this time. Big brother, why don't we bring this brat and that woman back to the Horseman Gang?" The group of bandits discussed fervently. Qin Feng's wealth was too shocking, and even Ma Long didn't dare to make a rash decision. If he killed Qin Feng now, he would be reprimanded by his big brother. Not only the bandits, but the villagers of Hua Village were also stunned. They could tell that Qin Feng was the son of a rich family from his silk brocade clothes, but they didn't expect him to be so rich. As the villagers of Hua Village, they were all the poorest people. They couldn't even earn a single gold coin in their lifetime, let alone gold bars. "Brat, come back to the Horseman Gang with us." In the end, Ma Long put away his broadsword. Hua Xiaojin hastily crawled up and hugged Qin Feng's arm tightly. Why you can't bring young Master Qiao back? If you want to bring him back, bring me back. Ma Long was deeply attracted by Hua Xiaojin's beauty. He originally planned to do it in the village, but when he saw the dozen or so gold bars, he lost the mood to have fun. He just wanted to bring Qin Feng back as soon as possible and let his big brother deal with this matter. Shut up, you bitch. I'll bring you back even if you don't say anything. The brothers of the Horseman gang still want to play with you. Qin Feng was enraged, but he suppressed it in the end. He knew very well that a little impatience would spoil a great plan. Xiaojin, don't worry. Come with me to the Horseman gang. Grandma Long, just wait for us to come back. Qin Feng was afraid that Wang Xiumei would be worried, so he comforted her. Ma Long couldn't help but burst into laughter. Ha! What are you daydreaming about, brat? You want to come back after going to the Horseman gang? Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and leave, or I'll kill you right now. As if he didn't hear Ma Long's words, Qin Feng dragged Hua Xiaojin out of the village. Ma Long roared, "You brat, get on that horse. You bitch, get on my horse." Hua Xiaojin was so scared that she grabbed the corner of Qin Feng's clothes tightly. She didn't want to stay with Ma Long, even if she was beaten to death. Qin Feng whistled. His strange action startled everyone. After a while, a fiery red horse galloped toward them like a burning flame in the wind. Fuck, that's a Fergana horse, second leader. Damn it, even my big brother doesn't have such a good war horse. You really know how to enjoy yourself, brat. This horse belongs to me. Ma Long was once again shocked by Qin Feng's wealth. This Fergana horse required at least dozens of gold bars to buy. His eyes lit up, and he leaped onto the flaming dragon horse. However, the flaming dragon horse suddenly went berserk. It ran around wildly and struggled, and it almost threw Ma Long off a few times. I advise you to get off. This Fergana horse is unyielding, and it only recognizes one master in its life. Other than me, no one else can ride it. Qin Feng's words made Ma Long furious, but he had no choice but to accept the reality. The fiery dragon horse became more and more violent, and Ma Long felt that he couldn't hold it anymore. He had no choice but to jump back onto his horse. Flaming dragon horse galloped over. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaojin and leaped lightly onto its back. The wind whistled past his ears. Flaming dragon horse was as fast as a bolt of lightning. In the moment that everyone was stunned, they were almost out of sight. What are you waiting for? Where's the horseshoe gang? Quickly lead the way. Qin Feng's voice drifted over, and the bandits and villagers were startled. The atmosphere became extremely strange. Damn you! Don't let me catch you. I'll kill you with one slash. Ma Long swung his saber and slapped Ma Long's butt. The fiery dragon horse galloped away. Ma Long was extremely depressed. He felt that something was wrong. Why did that brat look like he couldn't wait to go to the horseshoe gang? Qin Feng took the lead and charged at the very front. Ma Long and the others tried their best, but they couldn't catch up to him. The 20 or so war horses were almost exhausted to death. Hua Xiaojin finally woke up and hurriedly shouted at Qin Feng, "Young Master Qiao, this horse is so fast. Let's quickly run to the west. There's a yamen there. I believe those bandits won't dare to act recklessly once we reach the yamen." Hua Xiaojin still didn't think that Qin Feng could defeat the bandits. After all, she knew too little about Qin Feng. However, Qin Feng didn't change his direction. Instead, he galloped toward the horseshoe gang's mountain. Hua Xiaojin was so anxious that her head was covered in sweat. At this moment, she was nestled in Qin Feng's arms. Coupled with the fact that the fiery dragon horse was galloping at full speed, Qin Feng was somewhat infuriated. "Young Master Qiao, why you're running in the wrong direction? Quickly run to the west. We'll reach the horseshoe gang's mountain soon. At that time, you won't be able to escape." Hua Xiaojin's voice began to tremble. Qin Feng hugged her tighter and said gently, "Don't worry. I said that I'm going to destroy the horseshoe gang. I wasn't joking. If you don't believe me, ride this fiery dragon horse back to the Hua family village. I'll come back to find you after I destroy the horseshoe gang." You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.